Hey, boys and girls, we're live with the weather report, and I just want to comment that nothing pisses me off more than when somebody says I'm in a bad mood.
That actually indicates to me that you're in a pretty good mood today.
Maybe. I don't know. A lot of shit going on.
Well, I would say that I've noticed as of late that your mood is directly proportionate to the amount of time you've spent with Danny.
I know. And I think we're going to maybe remedy that. I don't know.
So I don't know if he's still live, but Eric says that it was on Skylar today. It was one of the times that Jello was there and Rage Quit.
Yeah, I don't have that channel marked.
Here, let me get it.
He got mad when Skylar told him he was just reading the script, according to Eric 311. And yeah, he gets mad when you call him out on his stuff.
Like the one day he was here, and I stopped him. I'm like, dude, like Peter was asking you what you thought about it, and now you're reading something. And he lied right through his teeth. I'm not reading anything. And it was just so obvious to anybody that he
is that what I was talking about? Where somebody was it? Who was it?
It was Peter he was talking to on Peter. Your channel.
Yeah, that was online. Okay, there was something that happened in the chat. Somebody wanted me to review a chat from a few days ago, and I'll be damned if I can find it or figure out what it is. So, has anybody told me since I asked the question?
I don't see anybody.
But you don't remember who it was who wanted you to?
I'm pretty sure it was Jerry, but I may have gotten that wrong. Who knows?
Maybe Jerry's in a state of denial.
Jerry, are you in denial?
Maybe he has short-term memory problems.
Strangling the Truth is in here.
What, in the live chat or backstage?
Live chat. He's afraid to come into the stream. He's afraid of us atheists because we might think he's a baby and eat him. And I think that could happen. I could see that happening. I can see his concern.
Wait a minute. Standing for Lies doesn't want to come in and back up his bullshit.
No.
Well, when he got mad for being called out for saying he needed to research the paper when he used it to try to support his nonsense. So basically, he Googles stuff for particular keywords, finds a paragraph that sort of sounds like what he wants, and that's what he calls reading a paper.
Yep.
Because,
science bitches.
It takes a while to read those things.
Yep.
Of course, that's me, the non-genius, so maybe.
Yep. So what have I done today? I looked at some philosophy today, and
you're still awake. Congratulations. How much coffee have you had?
It is just so obtuse, so ridiculous. I don't know why they pay those people anything at all. They need to be.
You don't pay them much. You gotta.
Yeah. Okay.
So, there's a link for you in the private chat, Speed.
Oh, and I also met with Sygard and Demeter today.
Cool.
Talk about RNA. And I'm in over my head with those guys. I don't know any quantitative chemistry. That is a problem. Because I fell asleep during quantitative chemistry, as one does. Anybody's ever taken those classes knows.
So there's a class you can take called quantitative chemistry.
Well, it's usually a big part of like your first and second year chemistry, and
Stanley,
just a big section.
Now, Stanley, you do know that referring to Speed's broadcast as church is very, very insulting, right?
Well, I kind of like it. I don't know. I'll give him that. Church is fine. The church.
I prefer to think of it as a hyena huddle.
The answer. Well, so Tangela was in here and he rage quit.
Yeah, and then now Eric says that that maybe his crappy audio had something to do with him leaving too.
Oh, okay. I can't spot him in here at all.
Yeah, you're scrubbing the video and look for his.
Are you looking at Skylar's deal?
Yeah, I'm dealing with Calvinist and terrible debaters on
20 to 30 minutes in says Vesta, 49:45 says Eric, I think.
20 to 30. Well,
I think he's referring to the same video.
Well, he's calling in, so you can't really see him on StreamYard.
Oh, it's a call in. Okay.
It must be a call in thing. Yeah. Yep. Anyway. Yeah, well, that's not new. Nothing new there.
Well, the only thing that might be new to listen to is how Skylar deals with them.
Might be. Let it snow. Let it snow. Cool. So what's going on, guys? So John Maddox had a stream last night, which I have not looked at. Should we look at that?
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
You can react to it. We'll be able to probably get through about the first 5 minutes of it without heavy discussion.
Yeah, but we'll probably take us an hour to get through the first 5 minutes of it, though.
Yeah, maybe. It'll kill time.
Evolution destroyed.
Well, I mean, and then we could go look at that Skylar shit, too.
We could.
But yeah, let's check out, who is it? Mad Ducks?
Mad Ducks. Yep.
Mad Ducks.
Let me hook up the proper audio equipment, which requires some engineering.
You know, one thing, if you've got something to do for a second, and I wanted to bring up is, now, there's nothing wrong with change. You guys have heard me talk before about like the thing with, on this channel in Knox about how, just get over it, people. If someone tells you they want to be referred to in a certain way, refer to them in that way. But like, there's all kinds of stuff going around. Like, you guys heard about the Mr. Potato Head shit, and now the Dr. Seuss shit, and and rightfully so. People wanted to a few years back were wanting to do something with all those Civil War from the Confederacy statues, and of course, I think the best thing that somebody came up with is, don't tear them down and break them up. We don't want to forget about that time in history. Put them in a museum somewhere. And then now it's seemingly they're going after books too. Okay, like there's certain language, certain words I don't like to hear. I mean, I don't like to hear the N word no matter who says it, but I don't fault black people for using it because they're taking control of the word. That's why they started saying it themselves way back in the day. Is hey, you're going to call us this? We're going to use this word for every part of speech. Fuck you. And so now it's just getting out of control as far as I'm concerned. Okay, if you are making, say, a movie about the time of slavery in this country, if you're, making a movie about the days of Jim Crow, you very well couldn't be truthful to the time period if the characters weren't using the N-word. Okay, you couldn't, and that's the only example I could think of now. But there's all kinds of different, books, and like Tom Sawyer. There's all kinds of different books and movies, and where you're covering different subject matter, and there might be words in there that are offensive to somebody now. But if you're doing a period piece, whether it's a book or a movie, I mean, yeah, well, if you're offended to that, then don't look at that movie. I mean, but that it's seemingly they want to. I've been hearing like they're like taking all kinds of different books out of schools and stuff just because there's words in there that might offend some group of people.
Yeah.
And I'm all for accommodating people and doing our best not to offend different groups of people and respecting their wishes and all that. But I mean, are we going to go all the way back to the beginning of time as we grow, as a people and get rid of everything in the past? I mean,
oh my God, look who's in there.
Yeah. So no reaction to that, huh?
Nope. The Dr. Seuss thing was done by the company itself, and I heard the Dr. Seuss family has been doing everything in their earthly power to make money on that shit, and it's just a marketing decision that they made. And I don't know why everybody's up in arms about that one, but and there were 6 books that I'd never heard of. So I don't know.
I mean,
I have
like that.
I have the no skin off my ass policy. Let them do what they're going to do and let people get their frustrations out. And I'm sure there'll be copies of all those books. Hollywood seems to be still making some pretty edgy movies with, not censoring themselves. And as long as Hollywood's okay, I'm okay. So,
Well, I mean, that's just it. Like there's certain words I don't like either. But if you're doing a story about the particular time, certain particular times, there's language that you're going to use. I mean,
yeah. So what are they talking about here? So when was this last night? So this happened, how long ago did this happen? Can I see that? 15 hours ago. So that was around the time we were on Saturday Night at the Atheist, right?
when did Maddox get so much forehead?
I don't know. I think it's his cancer. He probably went on the fruit bat diet from raw Matt. I don't know.
I hear those fruit bats are really good, almost better than keto.
Yeah. So Emery's in there. Oh, he's our favorite
Oh boy,
right winger.
right winger, conspiracy, paranoid.
The Dex
theist.
analogy. The more cards you rule
damn.
out, because like
I suppose you guys can hear that.
I'm learning this in biostats. So my biostats class is not a complete waste of my time.
Right?
It
right?
does hurt my brain. The more cards you remove.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah,
I can hear it.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't because I had it muted.
From the deck increases the probability of the other cards.
Exactly.
So if you rule out atheism, pantheism, whatever other forms of theism that are ridiculous, like Hinduism, Buddhism, whatever, you rule those out.
Foreskin.
The probability
Foreskin.
of
What already?
I mean, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Just like like rule out all this stuff that I don't believe in, so it's got to be false because it's not Christianity. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, he's trying to make a case about why you should believe Christianity after
Right,
you.
and he's hand waving away like 2/3 of the entire world's population.
Yeah.
His little list there.
You rule out, like the Muslims and the Buddhists and the atheists and all the people that don't believe in Christianity. You're left with just a few cards.
Right. He says, yeah, if I get rid of all the red cards and all the numbered cards, and the queens and the jacks, you know what? All that's left is the aces and the kings, man.
Yep.
Yeah, no shit, though.
Christianity is aces, man. So anyway, okay. So I was gonna see what our friend. Oh, here he is.
when you draw up a grant, you are required, like they expect you to cite from the existing literature. Like, hey, we're doing this. We think it'll work because of this reason. And it'll, and it depends on the grant. Like different grants will have different
conspiracy theory.
Like a lot of them will,
Yeah.
like, hey, this is what we think is going to work. This is why. And when I drew mine up, I had like 5 or 6 different citations that I had to put on mine when I was drawing it up for classwork. And those citations are based on what? Well, from the things from the peer-reviewed literature that have, are actual, hopefully observable, testable, repeatable experiments. Hopefully, not always, unfortunately, but hopefully they're actually, things that we can do that are experimental. So, like, if there's a requirement that when you're building science, that the quote is attributed to, I think it's Isaac Newton, but who knows who it's actually from, that you're standing on the shoulders of giants. And that's essentially what you're supposed to do in science. You're not supposed to throw out the laws of chemistry and physics to design your experiments.
His voice gets real high.
Is he crying?
It does.
They keep making the claim that it does, although the problem with that is that so the same predictions that they're making the claim for could be espoused to be intelligent design as well, and they don't want to put that as the alternative. They would rather say that it's only evidence for evolution rather than for intelligent design. So I don't know.
Well, what's evidence for intelligent design look like?
Yeah, I mean,
And
the reason
No,
I got
man.
that is because nothing that they're observing points to that.
Yeah. Well, you can intelligently design any kind of evidence you want, I think. So I don't know why they're so butthurt about this. Intelligent design not making its way into the papers because it can't possibly make any predictions.
I mean, and the thing is, okay, look, they have people in their group, you know, in Christianity, and I would say more than not, that accept evolution, and then just in their mind, it was all started by God. You know, I think they'd be in a much better position to just accept the overall, you know, theory of evolution, and then focus more on like what Atangelo likes to conflate with evolution, which is abiogenesis, the origin of life. Like they've got room there to argue. I mean, there's not any evidence there, but they're like tilting at windmills, trying to you know, falsify the theory of evolution, and they should just, you know, stick with what might work for them, which is evolution's a thing that God created. He started everything.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here.
Oh, okay. Hey,
Now they're on.
What?
I was going to say, to add to John's point, those who believe in evolution are seen as traitors.
Oh, by other Christians?
Yes.
Yeah, they call it the goats or whatever. Yeah, they're just not buying the literal word. Well, we saw that Ken Ham thing yesterday. But let's see what else we got going on here.
A couple different versions, but I think what extended evolutionary synthesis.
Oh,
is the
his fucking mic is low again.
recent one, or the one that's getting the most
What is it?
substantiation.
What is that? No, oh, that's a baby.
Oh
my God.
Yeah.
Pace can fly as a baby. Oh, it makes us atheists hungry.
Oh, it's got so weird to see that big pumpkin-sized
It's like,
fucking
so look at
professional
this
mic
straight.
hanging in front of his head, and then it's so
Basically,
low as
you
fuck.
are completely dismissing what a gigantic chunk of the planet thinks is this proven premise.
What?
You've dumped it. You're now onto something completely different because your previous theory does not, per your own admission, does not account for all of this other stuff.
What
That
is
you
it?
now, through real-time observation, empirical evidence, and experimentation, know beyond doubt has to be accounted for. So now you're desperately trying to come up with new ways to explain through similar, even it might be different. It's not necessarily undirected changes and random copying errors in genes that create these new functions. Now it was that, and it was a bunch of additional undirected changes that happened to had to happen. Oh, and somehow those happened in unison in order to resolve.
I'm sorry.
Realize.
Please stop. Foreskin. Okay,
That was.
what the fuck did he just? Is he having a stroke right now?
I think so. That man sure knows how to not put together a sentence.
Right. Like oh man, that's so hard to follow. Like,
Yeah. So, what is he complaining about? Any idea? Andrew, you got any idea? Is Andrew still here? No. Where's Andrew? God
He
damn.
died. He said, "I'm out of here."
Oh, just when we need you.
He didn't give a reason why.
No.
who the hell is Andrew Cumming?
No, that's
It's rational empiricist.
rational empiricist.
Why is he fucking ragging on me?
Is he ragging on you?
LOL. John doesn't understand the scientific method.
John, no, we know that you have a common name.
Hello, John doesn't understand. Oh, all right, never
It's a
mind.
different John.
We call you
All
Peterson.
right.
Peterson.
And Creation Myths, Dr. Dan asks, is Maddox saying there aren't mechanisms of change other than point mutations?
He's
I don't
saying
think
that
everybody knows what he's saying.
he's saying that we believed it was just point mutations, and then we got new evidence that indicated that it was something else because, and then we had to make up something else. So he thinks we made up all the other stuff.
Oh, yeah, because
Yes, Leophilios. I was understand that now. Stop screaming at me.
But then he said that what everybody else accepts and knows is true because the facts are looking you right in the face that God did it. We absolutely are fools for not accepting the evidence. It's like, oh, what?
Well, and what did he say at one point? Like, okay,
Should we play back again?
He used the phrase non-directed change. Why does change have to have a direction or be directed by a thing? You know, like things sometimes just change. Like they're not necessarily caused by an intelligence.
Well, look at how he's twitching.
So what?
He was twitching. So let's listen to the whole fucking sentence. I think it's one sentence.
It is.
Let's try. Do we have to? Should we?
Yeah.
Okay.
And many of the people in the audience right now know there's a very big chunk of evolutionary biologists right now who basically don't believe in, they kind of personally dismissed modern synthesis. Now they're on, a couple different versions, but I think extended evolutionary synthesis is the most recent one, or the one that's getting the most substantiation and adoption, I guess. And it's like, so let me get this straight. Basically, you are completely dismissing what a gigantic chunk of the planet thinks is this proven premise.
Okay. What is right there? What evolution. Okay. No.
Big chunk of the planet believes in evolution.
No, I think he's saying the opposite.
That a chunk of biologists don't believe in evolution anymore is what I thought I heard him say.
I think that's kind of what he's saying. That what a big chunk of the premise.
Yeah, they're always talking about this huge secret cadre of evolutionary biologists who don't believe it anymore, but they can't say anything because big evolution is keeping them from speaking out.
Big evolution.
Yeah, he's already got apparently big evolution.
Big evolution.
Has already got the medical people cowed to where they can't talk about how wonderful. I'm going to call it junk DNA because I don't know the long multi-syllable real name for it. But yeah, big evolution has
non-coding. I think the word is non-coding.
Yeah, or workshop DNA.
Yeah, thank you.
Start calling it workshop DNA. That'll really piss them off.
Now, I find it interesting that now, of course, Danny's expertise, he had said, is not biology and evolution and all that, but someone who is so exacting on us when we say that he's against, he gonna sit in. I mean, I don't know if he speaks later. He might speak later, but the idea. And we'll see if he does. Maybe he does. I don't know. But the idea he would sit there and listen to that long-winded, like, fucking sentence that really says nothing and not call him out on it in some fashion, or ask, well, what did you mean by this word?
Yeah.
Well, I don't get it, but
I don't get it either. Or why are you using premise wrong?
You're now onto something completely different because your previous theory does not, per your own admission, does not account for all of this other stuff that you now through real-time observation.
Okay, so all he's doing is saying that science changes, so science must be all wrong. That old saw.
That is an old saw. That's as ancient.
Danny has a headache.
Well, and then here's something. Okay, so he's been in several streams with John Maddox. Has Danny ever asked John Maddox, well, what do you mean when you say delineated?
No, he hasn't. I'll bet. I bet he'd get booted if he did.
Tell you in evolutionary biology is garbage.
What?
Like 99.999%. Essentially, yes. Like basically everything they tell you in evolutionary biology is garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Like 99.999% of what they tell you in evolutionary biology is pure garbage. And
this guy's a university student, I think, working on his master's.
His master's in what?
Biology.
They don't know what an observation is.
And he believes that 99% of what they tell him is garbage. I don't know.
Yeah, all observations are garbage.
Yeah.
The experts in the field know that.
And they know that. Everybody
But
knows.
they still
What
write the
the-
textbooks
Oh my
and tell
God.
people that, you know, what they say is, oh, this is actually fact. When it's pure garbage. It is utter garbage.
I do have a question for you,
Sure,
or for
sure.
anyone else.
Danny.
What's the most charitable understanding of the phrase, like
Oh, good.
survival of the fittest? What is the most
Oh
charitable
no, he's
understanding of that?
he's gonna pick on
Depends
us.
on which evolutionist you talk to. You can get 4 or 5 different definitions of that phrase. Darwin borrowed it from Malthus. It wasn't in the first 4 editions of Darwin's book.
I mean,
go ahead.
sorry, I was just going to say, because I've heard different takes on it, and I guess if you had to say the most charitable one, it's obviously not the strongest, right? It has something to do with like luck involved, as well as the timing, preference, like sexual appetite, all kinds of things were involved with it. So if we had to be charitable, then you have to take into account all the different little features that are required for those things to take place. So I guess that would be more charitable.
Yeah, but
Even that's like
pretty dumb.
not that's way more charitable than I'd give it.
So you're saying that the phrase is kind of
The phrase is
problematic enough?
the phrase is useless, and the evolutionary biologists know this, and a lot of them
Oh my God.
don't like using it. Like
Okay, survival of the fittest. I don't know who. I have not read any of the textbooks. I don't think. And and what they do talk about is that in order for genes to transfer to a new generation, to the grandchildren, the thing has to survive long enough to reproduce. And it doesn't have to be any fitter. It doesn't have to be super. It could be streamlined and simple. It could be dumber. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is. The only thing that matters is if it puts that sperm onto that egg, and we have a baby.
Well, and what they're doing is there's this conflation going on, and he even alluded to it, but he said it wasn't like that. Like, well, it doesn't mean the strongest, but I mean, it doesn't even mean what the colloquial idea of fittest would mean to somebody if, like, you were just having an everyday, conversation. Like, like me and Speed, it's like Speed's older than I am, but he's more fit than I am. Talking about fitness, physical fitness. It really has to do with that. It's the organisms that adapt to their environment. Period. End of discussion. That's what Speed is saying, that they got to live to send their genes on. So survival of the fittest means the ones that adapt to their environment the best.
Yeah, and adapting to your environment for the individual may be as simple as not hanging around in bad places, bad neighborhoods, right? And
right, like an animal might might evolve to be a burrowing animal because the environment's harsh. Like an iteration of some animal was not a burrower to begin with, but then many thousands of years down the line, maybe they were burrowing animals to adapt to their environment. I mean, I don't know. That's just the first example I could think of.
Well, there's mutations, and then the environment has to be slowly sometimes for it to adapt. It can't happen all of a sudden, or all species would probably go extinct.
Okay, I'm curious. How many times has Maddox had that shit explained to him?
I don't know.
I don't know. We're way past that midnight. I'm going to stop trying to get that one done. I've given that up. Especially just 2 minutes ago, I'm like going after Andrew Cumming in the chat. Like, what did I do to you, man? Because he was talking about Maddox and saying John. So
yeah, no, I corrected myself. I said John, but then like, no, I mean Maddox.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it anymore, especially with Speed in the room. He can't remember from one minute to the next anyway.
Jesus.
What are we doing?
I got something to show you guys. A new avatar.
Are we live, John? Are we live?
Yes.
You hear me, Speed?
Oh.
You hear me, Speed?
What?
I got a new avatar to show you guys.
Who's Speed?
It says in your name.
Oh. Thank you.
Well, okay, what's the avatar? I'm walking back to my PC. What are we
What
doing?
are we looking at? I'm not looking
I'm
at it.
I'm gonna show you my new avatar right now.
Oh my goodness.
It's a hyena.
Nice.
Oh, thank you. Oh wow.
What is it?
It doesn't look as demonic as we need it
Can you
to.
put us
Yeah.
Well,
can you
kind
put
of.
us all full screen for a minute so I can see that better?
You want me to? You want me to what? Hang on a second.
Never mind.
Okay.
Uh,
There you go.
Oh, is that a deer?
it's animated, it seems like.
It's
Hyena.
a hyena.
It's a hyena.
Still my face.
Oh,
Hey.
It's just
Hey, Iron Charioteer. Hello, Vesta. And we got a lot of people out there. Anyway,
how many we
Stephanie.
got in here today, Steve?
28.
Ooh.
28 watching. And only 7 goddamn likes. What is wrong with you people?
Now,
I
you
hate
know,
you.
Standing for Truth, he opened up all of his fucking sock accounts, and he's probably good for 6 of those likes.
Yeah, you probably give me 6 of them, yeah.
Okay. Yesterday, all I did was tell Standy to get in the chat in the stream, and my comment was deleted by a Google administrator. I shit you not. I wish I took a screenshot of that.
Oh my god.
The same thing actually happened to Service when he was talking about soup, and apparently it got. What the fuck are you doing, YouTube?
Yeah, they're snowflakes.
Yep. Anyway.
Clearly they hate soup.
oh yeah, I was gonna say something else too. What's in creationism in intelligent design that hasn't been debunked?
Yeah. I don't know.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know what the hell they're doing here. I mean, this is some pretty weird shit that they're talking about, right? I mean, it's almost like they live on another fucking planet.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I don't know.
like they haven't.
Well,
Reddit.
maybe they get all of their information from Standing for Truth.
Well, I mean, the thing is like they were just explaining. Yeah, maybe we think all that stuff's been debunked, but all the scientists they have to go with with big science. They can't tell how they really feel that they think evolution is bullshit.
Yeah, they said out loud that they put it in the textbooks, even though they know it's not true.
Right, because they can't go against the powers that be. Yeah, I don't think they understand the mentality of most scientists.
And most of the textbooks are approved in Texas, right? Where the powers that be are pretty much conservative, right wing. In fact, on that board, I think they had like 3 or 4 creationists.
Yeah, that I can't remember the name of that dentist, but Aaron Ra really was an activist against what they were doing on the school board, state school board.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's pretty hard to reason with. No, Danny, I just don't agree with you, and you don't listen to why I don't agree with you, and we kind of have cross purposes.
I mean, I love. I mean, and I understand Danny's just trying to be nice and say, hey, we get along. I like him, all that stuff. But like, you're kind of doing the same thing you do when like you call him a dumb shit or something. You're going, well, he's a nice person. He means well.
It's hard to reason.
Use a lot of bullshit. I mean, that's what we're reading in that post, Danny.
Yeah, the thumbnail for the show today was an embodied mind. A mind. It's a brain running around on legs.
Right.
And this whole issue of mind. Apparently, there are 2 different schools, and they are so far apart right now that it's hard for us even to listen to each other and communicate. And I don't know. There's a gap. It'd be worth trying to figure that gap out. But Danny kind of turns the heat up before we get anywhere. So
would you think that most of the people that
wait,
I'm speaking irrespective of religion, or religious beliefs, but would you say that outside of religion, that most of the people that give credence to the idea of a disembodied mind are more philosophically leaning?
What else would it be?
Yeah, they're definitely not brain scientists. That's for goddamn sure. But okay, take a look. Okay, I'm hard to reason with. So yesterday I was trying to explain to him a concept that's a new concept for a lot of people. And most of you guys got it wrong too. When I said constructed, you thought I actually meant putting the bike together, when actually I was saying that it was the opposite of a reductionist approach, that you go from the bottom up rather than the top down. And he called me a dumbass. So who's hard to reason with, Danny?
Yeah, wait a minute. Where did he say you were hard to reason with?
Right here. It's on the screen. I've been putting it on the screen.
Oh, I read it. I didn't see the words hard to reason with, though.
Yeah, it's on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
So
yeah.
And he's hard to reason. Go ahead, John.
Right. I mean, because, all right, right there, hard to reason with. Okay. I understand what you're saying from a philosophical point, but that's a shot, dude. That's an insult.
Yeah, that too.
If you disagree with somebody, you can't, Danny, and even though you are smart, you can't at 24 years old think that you have mastered reasoning and that nobody else, if they look at it in a different way, can't even in part be right. I mean, it's hard to reason. It's hard to reason with speed presupposes that you're right about everything. That's what that phrase means. You can't reason with him. You find it difficult to make Speed see things your way. He doesn't have to see things your way,
which is a Darth Dawkins move. I'm sorry.
It is. Yes, it is.
I mean, Dennis is protege. Did you expect anything less?
He says that doesn't follow, John Peterson. No, it follows more than you'll ever understand. It.
Okay. Let's see what Moyna has to say.
It still gets used in like high school biology textbooks, but a lot of them they don't really like using it because, it conveys a thought process that is not true. Like it conveys
or trivial.
It's
either not true or trivial. Or seems like,
but yeah, because basically the thought process behind the way people think about this is
Danny got it right there. Basically, survival of the fittest and natural selection is trivially true. I mean, everybody fucking knows that that's how it works, right? I mean, population is going to get into the future because it survives. I mean, it's almost tautological. So I mean, I don't understand. And that's why it's hardly ever talked about. They talk about more intricate things. So I don't know. Just me.
Is essentially that, an organism that is, has some kind of feature that makes it better suited for its environment will survive. Well, yes, that's true, but it's also, again, it's true. It's trivial.
Yes.
Okay, we know this. This is not. Oh, sorry. I apologize. Did I say Malthus? I meant Spencer. That's my bad. My bad. Sal, sorry about that. But I just need the abstract here real quick. It's not actually not from the abstract. It's from the introduction of the paper.
Oh,
so,
fuck.
And here's their argument. However, as we shall show, these conditions, talking about fitness.
What fucking paper?
Back up a few sentences here. Fitness can prove a useful, if not indispensable, concept when a target population and its environment meets several non-trivial conditions. Namely, that comparisons involving two or more competing trait types or individuals cannot be made if there are irreversible changes in the environment. However, as we shall show, these conditions can be satisfied only in much restricted spatio-temporal partitions of the total biotic and abiotic environment. A consequence is that fitness cannot rightly be regarded as a general measure or, quote, forecast for, unquote, an organism's long-term evolutionary success. And I guarantee you, Sal will get why that's a absolutely catastrophic problem. So, like, and temporal partition of these, namely, this is actually not from the abstract. It's from the abstract. Find it. I did just link the paper in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, all there is to any paper is just the abstract. Yeah, just read the abstract. You'll know everything the paper's about.
Oh, hang on a second here.
Hey, share Dr. Dan's comment. It says, starts with what I'd love to see.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second. Taming Fitness, Organism, Environment Interdependencies, Preclude Long-Term Fitness Forecasting from 2020. Let's take a look. Let's see if we can go find that paper. Anyway, I can keep playing while he...
I mean, well, wait a minute. And again, this comes from the neophyte that really doesn't know a whole lot except for what these guys have taught me. But why would long-term fitness forecasting even be a thing in evolution? Like, because there's so many variables to it that, like, you couldn't look at an organism and try and predict what it's going to be like 1,000 years from now. I mean, what do they mean by fitness forecasting?
Yeah, because you have
they-
things from the climate and external things. What about the rise and prominence of a different species that's kind of in the area, but not related to the one you're looking at. You just can't predict those things.
So just like the dinosaurs, they had long-term fitness, didn't they? Until the environment changed really quickly on them, and then all of them disappeared except the birds, or the ones that were smaller ones, I guess.
I mean, are they confused by the idea that what was it, Darwin? There was like a certain type of ring species that he predicted would be found based on other birds that he saw, and then they found that bird somewhere else in another environment. And are they confusing that with the idea you could predict what species are going to come along in the deep time needed to make another, to evolve enough to split off, and I don't understand what they're meaning by that.
Well, for prediction is going to have to do with people that are concerned with environment and people that are concerned with crops and that sort of thing. That's the kind of prediction that they're looking for. I mean, we're not trying to predict where life goes on the earth so much. Other than that, we're trying to understand the ecology and maybe some problems that might be popping up for us in terms of our crops and things like that. And I don't know what the paper says, but we'd have to look at the paper to find that out, because we sure as fuck ain't going to get it from these guys. Right? Am I right?
Walker kind of responded to me there that might be worth sharing with people. He says, John Peterson, you can kind of predict allele frequencies given a set of alleles and their selection, but you're right. Eventually, that gets invalidated by environmental change or new mutations. So, yeah, I mean, I understand everything you said, Speed, about like predicting the environment and where the planet's going, and certain microenvironments and stuff are going to end up, like desertification of land that's now used for growing stuff, and but that's possible, I think, more than trying to predict that this species of animal will produce this species 1,000 years from now, which is what I thought they were talking about.
Yeah. So let's see. This paper is about, they're talking about eco-evolutionary feedbacks. A series of problems leads us to conclude that a general value of fitness that is both explanatory and predictive cannot be attained. So they're basically telling us what we already know, that in this stochastic environment, we're not going to be able to predict where life is going to go in 1,000 years. I don't think anybody's trying to. I don't know. We advocate for the use of propensity-compatible methods, and I don't know what that means, such as adaptive dynamics, which can accommodate these difficulties. So this is just sort of another idea about how we can address evolution and predict things. So let's see. Conclusion and outlook. Case for adaptive dynamics, which is sort of from the extended synthesis, where they're talking about the top-down and bottom-up approaches. Where do we go from here? None of what has been argued above dooms the propensity interpretation of fitness, nor should it be taken as suggesting that general evolutionary mechanisms will forever remain obscure. Our intention is to convey no more or less than the following. If fitness is to retain the central conceptual role that it currently plays in evolutionary theory, as both reflecting historical success and enabling accurate prediction of future representation, that its measurement must be restricted to an intermediate number of interreachable environments, and at a time scale at which the blurring effect of a mutation can be safely ignored. So it's an interesting paper, but I still don't know what the fuck the paper is saying. So anyway, I will link the paper for everybody in the description and in the chat.
I think the problem with most creationists and intelligent designers, they haven't learned what a fact versus theory versus hypothesis versus law, they haven't been explained to them properly. So I put
they haven't
the
learned
link
it.
in the private, not private, but public chat
They haven't-
for people.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, okay.
Okay, you can say your little thing.
Okay, so what they haven't learned is that you shouldn't cherry pick quotes out of papers. It's not polite. You should actually talk about what the whole fucking paper is about. Of course, him and Sel can read a whole paper and not understand what it's about at all. So,
Well, and it seems like, at least with Otangelo, I don't want to speak for anybody else. Has Otangelo ever, in any paper he's ever put forward, read the conclusions?
I'm not sure. He probably doesn't like to go there.
What they're doing is, like some of these papers, like this bio essays that Taming Fitness that Speed just linked, you have to pay for it. So he's just reading the abstract because that's all that's available, I guess. That's the most generous interpretation of what's happening.
Yes, Iron Charioteer has been making some pretty racist comments about cabbage, and but red cabbage is definitely commie cabbage. I don't know.
You don't want to get those cabbage rights people to get on our case, Iron Charioteer. You don't want that kind of trouble in your life.
Nope, we don't want that kind of trouble here.
Well, and the other thing, you guys got to remember that in these hypersensitive times, that you have to call Brussels sprouts little cabbages. You can't call them midget cabbages.
Or prolific cabbages. There's a lot of cabbages on your average Brussels sprout plant. Anyway, so okay, I put that in the chat, and we can see what else he's got to say about this paper.
Did find it, and I'll read. Let me just read the abstract of the prove conditions.
Yeah, we already heard.
Namely, that are acceptable biotic and abiotic environment. A consequence is that fitness cannot rightly be regarded as a general measure or quote by that. So yeah, okay, better survival in an environment, but what does that actually tell us? Like, it doesn't impact reproductive success. I mean, I did a whole podcast on relative versus absolute fitness, which Speed took issue with and tried to debunk, and I didn't even bother watching because I knew where that was going.
Right, okay, yeah. So he's going to refer to it as you tried to debunk it, but I didn't even listen to it, so I don't know. Like, what the fuck?
Why can't I remember doing that? I thought we were looking at which one was that? Fitness versus
it was this guy talking up in the upper right hand corner.
Huh?
I don't know. I thought you were asking which one said that.
Oh no! I mean, when did we go after his relative versus absolute fitness thing? I can't even remember doing that. I'll have to check.
Yeah.
Tried to debunk, but he didn't even listen to it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay.
But you know, this idea that fitness is relative is just pure garbage. Like, and the evolutionists, I think the evolutionists are starting.
No, it's a mathematical formula. You normalize one allele, and you call that 1.0, and then you measure the other ones against that, and you come up with relative fitness. That's what the fuck. I mean, what is he talking about? This guy is supposed to be going to school for biology.
Ostensibly, he's working on his master's in some form of biology.
Yeah, I think he flunked evolution.
Well, what school is he going to though?
I don't know.
Yeah, it might be. Oh, it's some kind of Bible college, but he claims that they're trying to push secular shit on him. So I don't know. So maybe it's a good college. I'm not
So
sure.
he's going to like somewhere where like Kent Hovind teaches biology.
Probably. I don't know. I'd have to check into the school. The school seemed to be accredited in a good school. I think what I did check into it, but he doesn't listen to any of the instructors that he disagrees with. So.
Yeah, that's
Which
always
is
a way to learn.
problematic. Yeah, that's problematic.
So
Maybe
who
wake up
joined
and
us?
smell
Huh?
It's so small on the screen.
Peter with an eagle.
Ah,
Yes.
I just saw 5 eagles flying around my yard like over and over and over again. All going.
This one has the same name I have. My name's D. Tucker. The bird's name is Tucker.
No.
oh, wow.
Wow.
And if all goes well, I get to play with him again this summer. So
Now, couldn't he just rip your face off on a whim?
probably. He's big enough.
Yep.
Did you guys see on YouTube? There's a clip on YouTube of a like toddler getting picked up by a bald eagle.
Yeah.
Well, that was fake.
Yeah, the parents.
I've already seen that it was actually a CGI thing.
How's a
It was a
toddler?
long time ago.
No, not the one I'm talking about. Wasn't no CGI thing.
Maybe it's something new then. That was like many years ago that I was talking about.
Okay, let's see what he says about relative fitness.
roses.
Well, I think just to be this week, folks, ladies and gentlemen, on a variety of things, I've been rather blunt.
I wish he turned his.
let's just-
He's got this huge microphone, right? And nobody can hear him. And people have been complaining on his streams for 2 weeks now.
I think I got the answer to that
What's
because he's also wearing a headset with a microphone, and I'm
He's going through the
quite
wrong
sure.
mic.
I'm quite sure that he's using the microphone on his headset instead of the fancy mic he's got in front of him.
Yeah,
That
and
sounds right.
he hasn't
what
figured
I-
this out in 2 weeks.
What I also did want to mention, because I'm 12, is that he's obviously very proud of his wife's nickname for him, so he's using that as his screen name.
Lil
And
Peepee.
I'm surprised no one noticed before.
No, I see LPP.
Yeah,
Yeah, we know.
Lil Peepee.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say,
Yeah, Lil Peepee.
I didn't. I was expecting to see something like micro penis or something.
Now he's gonna change his name because we should have talked about it like that.
Standing for truth, if you're still in the chat, tell John
Damn.
to switch his microphone. He's using the one that he has far from his face. And I figured that out like 2 weeks ago when this first happened to him. And he hasn't figured it out.
Since you mentioned that particular YouTube user, I can switch my picture. Look.
Oh, let me hang on a second. Oh, nice.
Is he in evolution jail right now?
In evolution jail.
Yeah, he might be illegally copying stuff, and
Oh,
Wait, who's in evolution jail?
you mean Big Evolution caught him?
Oh, okay. I just noticed
Caught
that.
him plagiarizing?
I caught him.
Good.
So, Peter, how you doing?
Fine as always.
Well, I mean, and who cares about the illegality of plagiarism? Why would a Christian ever plagiarize anything? That
I
doesn't
know.
make sense.
I don't know. But
That's-
we'll have to ask SJ.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow.
There's
Okay.
There's what
good
they
at
call
it.
a callback in comedy.
Yeah, she seems to be good at it. She's been caught several times now plagiarizing in her book, on her blog.
I mean, it's so easy. All you have to do is put whatever it is you want to say in quotation marks and put a little footnote. I mean, like
Yeah.
you can still use the words. Just
Yeah, but then it doesn't look like you're that smart. So
Oh,
it's better to just copy from people and then pretend you didn't copy that, but you agree with them word for word. Apparently.
Should I proceed?
With what? Ending the stream?
Oh no, the video.
I guess, yeah.
Context.
I
Let's
don't know.
say
Should we listen to him?
you have a,
Why were we listening to Maddox anyway?
Yeah, we can't even hear him anyway. Like,
I know how a car is built. It does, yeah.
Short term.
oh, is that Smokey? Oh no, I
More
guess-
reproductively successful, but if by doing that they dump genes, is what we're actually seeing. The natural selection is actually an agent against the.
Where is he actually seeing this? He's always saying we're actually seeing. They all do. Where are they actually seeing stuff?
I mean,
Where's
they're
their
not.
laboratory? Where is their laboratory? Is that big creationism? They got it hidden in the hills somewhere in West Virginia? Maybe.
Yes.
The construction, the accumulation of complexity, it's actually an agent against it. And so this whole idea of survival of the fittest, it was premised on the fact that the children will have more capability than their parents.
No, it wasn't. Fuck you. Oh my god. Oh, I don't even want to listen anymore to this shit.
yeah. It's you're gonna lose brain cells.
I'm gonna lose brain cells. Yeah.
Hey,
This-
Peter, you,
Forgetting of words, like he reads stuff for input. He's like one of those Play-Doh machine factory things that turn Play-Doh into different shapes or something. It all comes out different for him.
hey Peter, are you planning on staying till the end of this?
I'll stay on as long as I've got time. I pretty much.
Make it
Well,
worth
I
his
mean,
while.
if you're here, I guess the question I should ask is, if you're here when Speed ends this, could you hang back for like 5 minutes?
Sure.
Oh, let's see. I'm just spotting ahead here to see if there's anything interesting. Danny's talking. That might be interesting, but I don't know.
Are you? Is that you interacting with the eagle, Peter?
So the eagle, the guy who owns it is a friend of mine. He lets all of his birds fly in a local park, and when you want, you can handle them. So
And they come back
yes,
because you feed them.
yeah. So they're not tied up. He also does shows with the eagle. He has two people standing close to each other and then holds up food behind them and lets the eagle fly in between. That's pretty impressive, though.
Wow.
Such a big bird flying, two people leaning together with their heads together. So
Oh wow!
but yeah.
Yes, Andrew, come on. Say something interesting. We could use something.
No,
I'm
because
just-
someone mentioned a toddler getting snatched by an eagle. There's several small children. One's in the footage, but there's several small children standing around the eagle at the moment. So
Well,
that's
right.
why-
I mean, this was, and he didn't get away with the kid. He actually attempted to snatch the kid and got it like maybe a foot off the ground and then dropped.
yeah, I think I've seen that.
It sounds like the one I was talking about, where it was CGI.
So,
It's the people that did a penguin that fell in or something in the when it got hit or something by another penguin.
So when I was in grade school, a friend of mine was wearing an orange cap, and an owl came and ripped the cap and his scalp off his head, and just tore the shit out of him. And that was back when they would shave our heads. You know, they give us the I don't know what they called it, but the buzz cut.
Yeah.
You know, they only wanted to give us one haircut a year, so they cut all our hair off in the spring. So he didn't have any hair, and it just ripped the hell out of his head.
Oof.
And then the odd thing is that like some 40 years later, my brother-in-law was walking out to the car on my hobby farm, and he had an orange tassel cap on, and this owl swooped down at him. And I think it was the same deal. They just fucking love orange hats. So don't wear an orange hat around an owl, is the moral of the story. This channel does not condone wearing orange hats around owls. There you go.
I can't. I'm trying to work that out in my head because I don't think that there's any rodents that are orange that they would be.
No, I think they'd probably like it for their nest, or they just like it. For some reason they're attracted to it. I don't know. It's odd. Yeah, it's an odd thing. Okay, Andrew, you want to address some of the stuff we just heard?
Oops, sorry.
I was just gonna say, or was Maddox just talking about Evo Devo in that clip by any chance? Like the video?
We only caught a little bit of what Maddox said, and he was talking about how evolution is basically the extended synthesis came along, and because of that, he thinks we're making shit up to make our theory match the evidence, right? I think that's kind of what I got out of it.
So yeah, I just asked Creation Myths in the chat, and he basically said, yeah, we've added some stuff, but like evolution as a whole is kind of pretty much the same.
Well, what the fuck? They just took. Yeah, Creation Myths is saying that his comments are disappearing, and then Speed just put something up, and it disappeared immediately.
What disappeared?
I saw a comment by you come up, and then it disappeared in front of my eyes.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, maybe it's a StreamYard thing because I'm not
Google's
looking at YouTube.
I don't know. StreamYard doesn't let some of my comments through, but if I go and put them in the chat over in the live chat on the video, it takes them, and it cuts out some of the oddest things. I think their AI has some rules that are not good. Bad programmers. Anyway.
John. Somebody posts like a really long sentence, and just because the letters F, U, and C and K appear somewhere in it, it gets taken away.
Yeah.
Separate words or something.
I don't know. They let some of my your comments through. Okay, what the hell is going on here? Creation Myths or the real?
Right, because he said he tried to post and it got taken away. So he's doing it one word at a time.
Okay.
So John,
what
did you talking about this video that I've shown, where the eagle takes the baby or toddler?
It looks like it, yeah.
That's the fake one. It's been shown that it was fake.
Okay.
Look it up on YouTube. They have shown how they did it and stuff.
So what did you think of that stuff Emery Moyno was saying about relative fitness and absolute fitness? Did that make any sense to you? Andrew?
You, Andrew.
Oh, are you talking to me? Oh, I wasn't sure who you were talking to. Oh,
yeah.
I mean, like from my understanding, like fitness depends on the environment, so like it's kind of ridiculous to say otherwise. I mean, like the.
Well, it depends on mutations also.
Like depends on the organism.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
if there are bad mutations, that organism is just going to die off somewhere along the line, not going to reproduce, and then it's going to follow changes in the environment.
Well, it's going to follow changes in the environment, but also I don't think that they understand the fact that for different organisms, the changes, their fitness for the environment is going to be different than other organisms. Like, I think they have this kind of idea that everything's homogeneous, that evolution affects every organism in the same way, in the same environment.
It doesn't.
Well, their main thing is that if there's a paper that says that some particular model fails or doesn't fail, just doesn't provide good results, then that means that evolution in general isn't true. And so they're extrapolating this big inference from the fact that, like these guys are talking about basically a different way to measure fitness for ecosystems, and they have this propensity fitness that they're using, propensity interpretation of fitness. So they wrote a paper on it. So because they wrote this paper, and somewhere in the paper it has a few little buzzwords about fitness being, not working in a particular case, they think evolution is disproved. I don't know. I don't know how they think the way they think. It's very disturbing to me. I'm just disturbed.
It's like they're saying that a animal like a penguin, if it doesn't survive a volcano, it can't evolve, and then evolution is disproved.
Right, disproves that.
Like what?
Yeah. That's
Oh, God.
Yeah, if there was a beneficial mutation in one individual, and a volcano erupted and killed it, then evolution is false.
Like if I may provide an analogy, and it's probably a terrible analogy, but so you have this tree. So let's say this tree is our understanding of evolution, and you're gonna clip off some of the roots, basically. Does that ever mean that the tree is gonna fall down at once?
Yeah. I don't know. They have an agenda, and that is a problem. The agenda is a problem. I've got something here somewhere that I drew up for Danny. I was hoping to have a fitness talk with him at some point, but I'm searching for it. Kind of shows.
Danny doesn't believe in any of that shit.
No, I didn't believe in that stuff.
So, can we look at some of that Skylar video?
You mean Otangelo?
Yeah.
Why? Does anybody else wanna?
Just for lols.
Well, I took it down.
Well, what do you mean you took it down? You removed it from YouTube? How did you do that?
Well, I have powers.
The link is still in the private chat that I left.
Yeah, I just found it. Okay, so I don't know. How do we do this?
Well, somebody a while back, I think Scott told you timestamps where you might be.
Oh, was it like 20 and somebody else said 30?
No, I think it was 30 something and then 40 something.
Yeah, like 40.
Hold on, I've got it on pause. It's at 49. Start at 49. It's the one Sunday afternoon with Dr. Josh and Skylar Fiction.
40. There's no 49.
You're on the wrong video.
Well, this is the one that John linked.
Well, I linked the wrong one.
Sunday afternoon with Dr. Josh, and it's the first one there.
This one? Yeah. 49. Yeah. Okay. Oh, shit.
Oh, I get your name and birth in the middle.
Clicking the wrong
I'm nerdy,
thing.
I suppose.
I know. YouTube is too close. The buttons are.
Let's put the argument up. You kind of disappeared on us. We'll let you in until you just say the word. This guy gets better than most Christians. No.
See, now he's just saying that because you're getting people to vote for him. That's
no. I want it, but I don't care. I want
kidding.
people to vote for him. No,
I'm kidding.
I don't. I really do want him to win. So it'll be fun. Anyways, all right, let's play couple more minutes before I got to run here.
Let's stick with your view that God chooses based on a choice by man. So ultimately, it's man's choice as to whether or not.
Let's do it. You come in. If you got to run, Josh, don't feel like you're off.
No, it's fine. It's
I
fine.
know. I say that not Josh because I always, he's got, tons.
No, I think Megan and Oliver are still asleep. So.
All right, Otangelo, come on in. There's a link only for our boy here. Let me close this out. Let's see what he says today. Let's see what questions the pre-sup we get. Stop screen. Maybe he'll go over our argument today. You think he'll do the argument if we put it up? Or?
No.
Some of these I've actually learned I can get rid of some of these premises on here. But we'll see. There he is. Hey, welcome back, my friend. Glad you were you decided to come back, then. So what are we going to go into? Do you want to do my argument that we have? You want to see what it's about? I can't. Something's up with your mic, man. Something's going weird. Your audio.
So would you like to answer that question, which you avoided yesterday?
So, ask the question again. Go ahead. Let's do this.
How can we exist without a creator?
That's not the question you were. Yeah.
I think there's a. Is there a mic that like is on your camera or something? I think it's picking up the wrong mic.
Yeah.
You sound like really far away.
That happens. Happened to John. It's a creationist problem.
Is it better now?
That's because they don't believe in evolution.
So much bad.
Their equipment doesn't evolve.
But it's so bad.
I can hear him.
That's fine. We can deal with it. But first of all, that was a question you did not ask yesterday.
Is it better now?
Yeah, but we can deal with it. So that was not the question you asked yesterday.
Give me a minute.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Should I just put him in backstage or mute him? I don't know what to do, Josh. I need an adult. What do I do? Do I wait?
What is
switch mics input, you boomer?
Okay, what the fuck? Should we go ahead?
You know, I do that. I do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
So I think I did a whole show on my. I had this.
He's really here. He's good. Do it. Ask your question. Nope. Oh, that's gone.
Better now?
No, it's not better at all. No, not at all.
Better now?
That was a little better. I think that one was a little better.
Well, we can make it work. It's okay.
We can make it work. Just ask your question.
Okay.
What's your question?
Well, so yesterday you said you're an agnostic. You don't know if God exists or not, right?
Yeah, I said I don't know if there's a God. Yeah.
Okay, so you said as well that you would like to know and to find out, right?
If there was a God, I would like to know that there was a God, but I don't know if there is one.
Okay, so next question which I asked was, how do you establish an epistemological framework in order to investigate that question?
Can you flush that out for me? Explain it in a different way?
There are some ways how you can figure out if a creator rather exists than not. One way.
I get you now. The problem is that we would have to define creator, and right, everybody has a different kind of definition of God depending on your religion. So to even begin to find out, like, if something exists, we have to have some information about it. Like, we have to know what it is, what its properties are, all these type of things. But at this point in the conversation, I don't even know when you say God, what you're referring to.
So,
okay. I believe that the universe has a beginning.
I'm the one who suggested we look at this, and I'm already bored as fuck already.
Yeah, So he's addressing one of my pet peeves, and that is the question is, how can you get to an epistemology? I forgot the word. Without a God, shouldn't he first determine that there actually is a God before we can look at models including said God? Because what doesn't exist doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he's basically asking how do we account for an epistemological framework, right? How do we account for it? Well, we have brains. That's it. Done.
Yeah. But he asked how we can get to an epistemological framework without a God.
Well, and Skylar predicted it too when he was on his way in. I wonder what precept we're going to get out of him today.
Yeah.
Yes. And in order to have such a framework with a God, first we need to establish whether or not there is one. And that's the part that all these guys are skipping. So I don't know about Otangelo, so I couldn't really say. But if it comes to people like Standing, Praise, they don't want to address that question.
So I think I figured it out. What I just said. Okay, we get to that framework because we have a brain. Brains get you to that framework. They don't have a brain. I think I figured out why they believe in God.
Or they just don't use it, you mean?
Or why they don't have a framework without, because they don't have a fucking brain. It's like, Jesus. Epistemological framework, yeah.
How could you get something into a framework if you haven't established that it actually exists first? To me, that's a logical step you need to take first. First, we're going to address whether or not your God exists. So come on and show me your best evidence. Show me that he's actually real. If you can do that, then we can look at any other framework that may or may not include him, or her, or it, or whatever it is.
Well, or if they could prove or show an argument that would be indicative of not being able to have epistemologically warranted beliefs without some outside force, like that. Don't even call it God, but like there has to be like this. I don't know, not even a being, but. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything I can to where they could be logical and arguing that, but I guess
like some kind of entity.
How many of you have found yourselves lacking an epistemological framework where you had to start thinking about how you would acquire one? I mean, how many times does that come up in your life? Just ordinary, like going to Walmart. You go to Walmart.
And it's really
I think we have a factory default version epistemological framework, but I've never encountered anything that encourages me to look for a new one or to do add-ons.
I was about to bring that up because I know Otangelo does. He likes to bring up. We know that cars are made and stuff like that. Yeah, we also can go to a car factory and watch cars being made. Can you get me to a tree factory or a fish factory, or where are those being made? I've never seen a factory like that. So if you want to try and compare things, let's go.
You need a microscope to you can see nature doing it.
A seed is kind of like a tree factory.
So maybe
there's no there's no little engineers or builders or something other than the chemicals, right?
Yes, but
so
according to creationists,
it's like a deistic kind of thing. There was a God way back when that started everything in action, and he just fucked off after he did that. And then he looked back a little while later, and he wanted to fucking stir things up a little bit. So then he created creationists and threw them down there, and he's sitting back laughing his ass off now.
And that was quite recent because young Earth creationism, the way that we have it now, formed in the 1960s, I think. So
yeah,
he's been here quite recently. Funny enough, I was born in the 60s. So
yeah, me too. And they also like when they talk about flat Earth, they like to, I don't know, like I've heard a lot of them saying, well, everybody thought the flat Earth was, whether the Earth was flat at such and such a time, and it's like, no, pretty much throughout the history of modern man, like back to the Greeks, there were people that had sussed out that we were living on a globe. It's just that the average person way back then, thought the Earth was flat because they didn't have any more information.
What about the Christopher Columbus thing? Like the king or something believed the flat Earth, and then Christopher Columbus sailed.
That's not actually true. We figured out the Earth was round before Jesus was even born. So
I know that stories can be
if he was born
changed and stuff, especially in school or entertainment and stuff. So I don't know how much what I just said was true or anything.
Especially at schools in like Texas or Alabama.
Yeah, so the whole thing with Columbus, that's a myth. They just hadn't tried going around the other way because they knew they would end up in India, which is, and they wanted to find a shorter way to get there, and this is why Indians are called Indians, because they got it wrong.
Yeah, they thought they were going to end up in India.
Yes.
Right. And it's like it's such a hard because the ocean's so big, and then it take months to get across back then. And then they had a lot of food, and people get scurvy and everything, so people died. So it's a lot hard to get to one place to another back then.
Well, and back then, about this, there was no Panama Canal back when.
Yes, they had to round Africa, so it was a bit further away than it is today.
Yeah, and like Columbus actually thought the Earth was much smaller than it was, and so his contemporaries didn't think that he was they didn't think they'd fall off the Earth. They thought, okay, well, if we travel in this direction, you're gonna run out of food and water. So kind of the only reason that Columbus survived was probably because America was just right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't think that America was there.
No.
So they thought they might hit India before anything else, and it might be a shorter way than rounding Africa to get there.
Oh, no. I'm tired.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for them, like they probably couldn't even, they dealt with the Atlantic and going around Africa and everything, but they probably couldn't conceive of a body of water as big as the Pacific Ocean was.
No.
Yeah.
Yep. So that video is boring.
Yeah,
I think I don't know. Maybe I should spend a little more time going through one video, but it's just so hard to pick one.
Right. Hey, we could go look at what's his name again. He has some little short videos.
Who? Moina.
What the hell is his name?
Moina.
Yeah.
Emery.
He's got like all his videos seem to be under 10 minutes long.
Yeah. Where's that guy?
Yeah, the guy that said that you are not getting any attention ever again.
Yeah, and he mentioned me again.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Let's see.
Does he have any actual science videos?
Yeah, he's got a whole bunch of them on the elitism of biologos. That's interesting.
How is that science?
Well, no, that's not science. Okay, relative and absolute fitness. Did I cover that one? I don't think I did. He says I did. Did I? Why do I not remember covering this shit? I have all kinds of timestamps. Oh, I guess I did. Okay, so we covered that one. Well, let's go back and I don't know. It's like a smorgasbord, guys.
Just pick one. It's going to be
Does he have any on mutations?
Huh?
Does he have any on mutations?
The evolution virus infects. Let's see. Relative and absolute fitness, days without sun, feathered dinosaurs. I don't know what feathers. The importance of baraminology.
Ooh.
Debunking biologos on evolution objectives. Polyploidy and pollen size. Microscopy. Chromosome 2 fusion and pseudogenes. What do you think of that one?
I kind of like that the baraminology one. Sounds interesting.
Oh, God. Okay. I kind of like chromosome 2 and pseudogenes.
Oh, it's your channel, Steve. You go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys vote. You guys break the tie here. The importance of baraminology.
I say we watch whichever one Speed wants to watch. That's my vote.
Yeah, but I'm such a pushover. I'm going to watch the one that Andrew wants to watch.
Then let's go.
You don't have to do that, Speed.
No, you did this to me.
See, this is what he does. Is he figures the more he puts off things he wants to do, the longer he'll get to live.
I may have missed something. What Angela's asking in the side chat. You guys.
Oh my God, he's here.
Yeah, you guys actually didn't understand my question. Otangelo, hop in and
Yeah, what was your question? What was your
is life?
question? Okay, now we're at a fork in the road, guys.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we're at a fork in the road. Okay, so the importance of baraminology. We'll play this until Otangelo decides to come in and give us his question. Can you hear it?
And the reason I'm talking about it because the title of the paper is Implications of Creation Biology for a Neogene Quaternary Flood Post-Flood Boundary. So basically, this gentleman is arguing using baraminology to try and figure out where a flood barrier is. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is one of the contested areas within creation biology, creation science, specifically geology. Where exactly is the flood boundary?
Yeah, I know.
Some people say it's at the edge of the Cenozoic Mesozoic, and I will put a link to a geologic column in the video and podcast description, so you guys, those of you who are not familiar with
Foreskin,
can look this up and figure
By
out.
the way, that's the kind of haircut they used to give us when owls attacked us and ripped our heads off. My sound's better. My sound system's better.
When I see something like this, I always ask myself first, why does he have a green screen?
I know.
What does he think?
Oh, Tangelo says he. Oh, never mind.
Just his background or his wall, maybe.
Yeah.
Just the color of the wall.
Okay, we'll listen fast.
Where it is. That's called the KT boundary. I don't have a position on this realistically. I just don't. I'm not a particular fond of either position. I don't know that much about the positions. I'm not a geologist, so I'm going to leave the squabbling over where the level is. The Neogene Quaternary lineup is basically the highest levels of the column. So basically, almost all the rocks were laid down by the flood. That's essentially the argument that this gentleman is going to be critiquing. Now, again, I'll leave the arguments to people like Tim Clary, Dr. Andrew Snelling, Dr. John Austin. Clary is a doctor. I should have put that in front of his name. And I'll leave it to them to argue about where the...
I'm bored now.
I was just gonna say, like, if you don't know, why are you making a video on it?
How do they explain the KT boundary?
Who the hell is like, who the hell has a Jacob's ladder going?
They explained about volcanism, I believe.
Otangelo, you got something bad happening with your mic, and we're just not. I just don't have a tolerance for it today. So it sounds like you're being electrocuted. Yep.
I think he has his mic up, so then he hear all the background noise.
No, it's like an electrical noise.
I know it's the mic. The sound is so high. They pick his voice up because it was so quiet.
Okay, so he's getting all the distortion.
I think it's a fan running in the background.
That too. I have that problem on my computer. So I have like this thing that can shut off the sound when I'm not talking.
He seems to have these mic problems, and you would think he would have rectified all this through prayer by now.
Oh no, Vesta lost a puppy.
Oh.
That's tough. Yeah, anyway, so I don't know what we're going to do now. Tangelo.
Guys, I'm going to head out. I have an opportunity to spoil my grandson. And
nice.
It's my duty to do so. I'm going to go pick up some chocolate stuff to get all over him and have some other messy things.
Yeah, you got to mess the grandkid up so that the kids, your kids, have to clean it. The grandkid after.
Yeah, there'll be little chocolate handprints all over everything.
I personally am a chocoholic.
We'll see y'all later.
Yeah, our focus is off anyway today.
Now, does that mean you're a chocoholic? Does you like chocolate or do you like chalk?
Chocolate.
Okay.
I haven't used chalk in forever.
Yeah, I haven't used chalk since whiteboards were invented.
I haven't used chalk since I was like 7 years old or whatnot.
Yeah. It was kind of chalky.
You guys see over my shoulder? Right behind.
Is that a chalkboard?
Yeah, see it?
Ooh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Vertical.
That's old school.
It's on top of my desk.
So that's not a tiny green screen, is what you're saying, John?
Yeah, no, it's not a tiny green. Well, I mean, it could have been like a green screen for like Vern Troyer.
It's not going to work. Oh, let's see here.
Okay,
my
Steve,
choice.
now you pick a better video.
My choice was better.
Is it just me because the channel's name is in his image? Every single image I've seen of God has got more hair than he does.
If he's in his image, then Jesus must have looked like a white supremacist from jail.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say that.
I know. It's been on the tip of my tongue since I started playing this stuff.
Difficult problems in creation science, but before we get into those, we need to do a quick PSA, public service announcement.
Church.
And that is that the election will be.
Wait.
Is the final vote?
Wait. What, I want to hear what he's saying. What?
Well, no, I just wanted to comment that I don't know why, but it's always one of my pet peeves when people use an acronym and then they spell the acronym out. It's like, why did you fucking use the acronym?
Yeah.
If you're just going to say what it is, like.
Anyway. I also want to make a comment. I'm looking at this. The video is 27 minutes long, and he says we're going to talk about problems in creation science. And before we're going to address this, I'm going to talk about something else. You're not going to address this because the video is only 27 minutes long. You cannot put all the problems in creation science in 27 minutes. It's impossible.
He's going
to try. There's only one thing to the source. They don't have a God explanation first. So then everything that basically is mute.
Okay, public service announcement.
It's November the 3rd. I know there's early voting going on in a lot of states.
Voting.
You definitely want to go out and vote.
Vote for who?
Definitely want to go out and vote.
Biden?
Now, I know. There are Christians out there who say that we should not vote because we shouldn't be involved in selecting evil leaders and whatever else, and we shouldn't be involved in government. Okay. We're going to take that argument to pieces here just really quick, and then we're going to get into the creation stuff. First of all, in the United States, under this constitutional system we live in, we are granted, those of us who are non-felons and have not had their voting rights removed by process of law, are guaranteed the right to vote. Right, and that includes everyone who's above the age of 18.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a right guaranteed to all U.S. citizens. Now let's take a step back. Should we avail ourselves of that right? Well, the answer to that is yes. And if you think back on this, what you find in the New Testament is that the Apostle Paul continually, repeatedly avails himself of his rights as a Roman citizen. Right. So when he's beaten at Philippi, he says, "You beat men that are Romans. We're not just walking out of the prison. You're not sending us away from you. You're going to come down and you're going to get us out. And you're going to give us an apology." Essentially, is what he's asking. And the people in charge of the prison get panicked because we're Roman citizens. We do what he says because otherwise he might appeal to the emperor. If he appeals to the emperor, we're going to lose our heads because we beat him without.
And now just add the music, speed.
He stands before he says, "Why appeal to Caesar?"
He's
he had a
not
right to do
saying
that. As a Roman
anything.
citizen, he could say, "Look, I'm going to go. I want my case tried before Caesar."
He hasn't read the Bible.
And so and he had a right to do that. Now, should Paul not have availed himself of those rights because he lived in a wicked, sinful, evil government? Obviously not, right? Obviously, we are in a very wicked, sinful nation, right? With the things that are going on in our country are just evil.
Wicked.
And we have a particular presidential candidate who probably committed treason.
Because of them.
What kind of wicked things has Emery done this week?
So because we're surrounded by fallen people, and we ourselves are evil to an extent. Christ is redeemed.
Did you say foreskin?
I did.
Vigorously?
I did.
It wasn't very vigorous.
I'm always vigorous.
Not as vigorous as you need.
I'll give you several women's phone numbers that'll back that up. So, I don't get.
Put them in private chat.
What?
Put them in private chat.
Oh.
I'm calling you fucking bluff.
No. Besides, I don't know which one of them were.
Yeah, I thought so.
It said when he started this that
Speed, you will record when you call them, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay, all of them were Rosie Palm and her 5 sisters. Okay, sometimes I switch it up and use my hand that doesn't have a thumb. All right, he said that at the beginning, like some Christians will tell you, you shouldn't vote, take part in, voting some evil leader into power, like. And presumably this was made around the last election with Biden and Trump, because, like, literally the only reason we got Trump is because of Christians. That's literally the only reason why Trump became president, because Christians decided to vote for the evil piece of shit.
But he held up a Bible in front of a church.
Oh,
upside down.
Yeah.
Anyway, can you skip to the point? Yeah. What is the point?
Yes, and we would never have learned about the 2 Corinthians if it weren't for Trump.
Yeah, what the fuck? This video, chromosome 2 fusion and pseudogenes. What am I listening to? I did want to hear what the public service announcement was.
No, I don't think we need to hear any more of that, but find out where the science starts. But
what they say instead is no, humans
okay.
Had a fusion of chromosome 2 at some point in the relatively recent past, since the split with the chimpanzees. Now, the evidence for this that they bring up is that in the middle of chromosome 2 in the human genome, there is an extended repeat. Now, what's a repeat from the terms of genetics? Well, a repeat is just the same set of letters, the same sequence of letters, repeated end over end over end. Right, and there's an extended supposed repeat in this section where it's supposed to be a fusion of site.
No,
now, why does that matter? Well, because at the end of chromosomes, the
other thing is that there are 2 chromosomes in the chimpanzee, and the genes from those 2 chromosomes are both in chromosome 2. Plus, right where we thought we'd find it, we found a short repeat, that looks like that is a vestigial telomere, but the evidence was that the goddamn genes line up. I've got a picture of the genes lining up, and they line up really well. And that's all the evidence that you need. Nothing else is needed. The rest of this stuff was just, we found this, and we found the centromere, and we, and all this other stuff. I mean,
we found 2 centromeres, and we found telomeres in the center.
Yeah, and all the genes lined up. Between those.
Did he admit to right at the beginning of there that we did evolve apes?
I don't know if he said that or not.
He said something about genes.
Right after the split.
Yeah.
He was talking about what the scientists were saying.
Yeah, what the evolutionists say. Big Evolution said that. He wasn't really going along with it. Okay.
Big Brother Evolution.
Let's hear what he says.
For those of you who don't know, chromosomes is basically where the genes are stored, where the genes are held. Okay? At the end of chromosomes, there's these little caps called telomeres. Now, telomeres are made up of repeats. They're made up of long strands of repeats. Now, supposedly, and there's some biology of aging that goes into all this, and it's a little confusing, but supposedly, the repeats go. The repeats are at the end of the telomeres. The shorter your telomere, the shorter your lifespan. So supposedly, as your chromosome duplicates in cells, you lose little bits and pieces off the end of the telomere, and eventually you run out of the cap, and then the DNA starts degrading and you die. At least that's the understanding I have from the little bit I know about biology of aging, which isn't a lot. But that's supposedly involved. Now, could that be potentially the reason why humans, post and pre-flood had such long lifespans? They had much longer telomeres?
Oh my God.
Maybe. And this also might explain why Noah's being 600 years old was genetic poison to humanity, and basically shot down the lifespan, because Noah was 600 years old or 500 years old when he had his first job.
Proof?
That's pretty old, right? And you would expect a shortened lifespan for those kids if his telomeres, because the male reproductive cells are constantly being made. So
foreskin.
What did he say?
Can we please have Noah's bones so we can check whether or not he actually got to that age first? Because you're making claims, and you have no evidence for it.
Yeah, and I think if we found him, the DNA would probably be, we could probably get some DNA.
Well, isn't there like a hypothesis though that was like a translation problem, that they were counting time different, that it wasn't years, it might have been.
And it shouldn't be too hard, because in Turkey there is a giant mummy apparently who is supposed to be Noah. So unwrap the thing and see what's inside. I want to see what's inside.
Oh, really?
And
they found Noah.
Yeah, so there's that's near the site where the Ark wasn't found, which was just a landslide. The whole thing with I forgot his name. Ron Wyatt. Ron Wyatt found the Ark there, and then there is a village close by, which is translated to be a village of 8, which is obviously referring to Noah and his family. And
can I ask something?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, so do you think that it's just this group of guys or this type of Christian we always look at here on YouTube that what's going on?
I'm meowing.
That they actually believe that, like Noah and Methuselah and all the other characters in the Bible that supposedly lived for hundreds and hundreds of years, they accept that that's actually how long they lived, or
that there are several who think that that is actually the case. There are a lot that think that that is actually the case. I mean,
what did he say about telomeres? Go ahead.
No, play the thing, because this is just going to be a rant if I continue.
Okay.
And
Post and pre-flood had such long lifespans? They had much longer telomeres? Maybe. And this also might explain why Noah's being 600 years old was genetic poison to humanity, and basically shot down the lifespan, because Noah was 600 years old or 500 years old when he had his first job.
What? Oh, okay. So that's his theory about why everybody after the flood had shorter lifespans. Okay, because Noah was an old man when he had kids.
I have a question too. So because they will tell you that dinosaurs were giant lizards who just got to be old because dinosaurs don't stop growing. Wow. Where do we find a 900-year-old dog or a cat or a lion or an elephant?
Yeah,
whales that are like turtles that are 100 years old,
or a giant elephant. A giant elephant, right?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's a brontosaurus.
There's actually a certain kind of shark that lives even longer than those big turtles.
Yeah, because for the humans, they found a way out, saying that, well, the Neanderthals were really, really old people, obviously, because your eyebrows keep growing, the bones keep growing, which isn't the case, by the way, but
there's more evidence than just that.
Why don't we find similar skeletons of dogs and cats and elephants and lions that will prove that they actually got to, well, let's say 500-600 years old? We don't find those.
Well, it's like funny they say that, because we know that dinosaurs did not live that long because we have the growth rings in their bones. And like, I think the maximum limit was only like 40, 50 years at max, I think.
Yeah, but if you're going to start about growth rings, they're going to revert back to tree rings, and that is that we can't trust those. So they've got a way out for that as well.
Yeah, and were all the elephants that came off the ark, were they 500 years old before they had their first child?
Yeah, who knows?
Because all of a sudden the age of elephants didn't live. I mean, all the animals must have lived to 1,000 years old, right?
Wouldn't it be having kids at an older age have that gene to be able to be older, live on? Wouldn't that make more sense? What was he saying about being poisoned or something?
Oh no, the telomeres, because so he had his first child when he's 500 years old. So his brilliant fucking hypothesis. Okay, first of all, the germline in males does not divide all that fast. I mean, and I don't know a lot about this, but there are more divisions. But in females, the germline only has a couple of divisions, and the eggs are created, and the eggs last a whole lifetime. I don't think they would last for 900 years, but these guys think so. His theory about telomeres indicates that he really hasn't thought this through.
Hasn't it been found that women live longer than men?
Yeah, today they do. I'm not sure about back in the day. I don't know. But yeah, they do now. That's because they stress us to death, right?
I have no comment on that.
I'm just speaking from my experience with my 2 wives. I'm sorry, but anyway,
I live with 2 women. I withhold comment.
Okay, yeah, you better fucking withhold comment.
Yes, I like.
Or
to
they'll
sleep
stress you.
I like to sleep indoors.
Yeah, yeah, don't let them listen.
I got accustomed to that over the years.
Yeah, my sons never come to me for relationship advice because I always say to them, "Don't."
By the way, is Otangelo back already?
He's back, but he's very quiet. He hasn't said a word. I think he's having mic problems. Otangelo?
Yeah, I don't know if it's better now.
Holy shit. Yeah. Holy shit. It is. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
We only got about 5 minutes left, so we can quit listening to this bozo. Okay.
Okay.
He was just going to get to the juicy part, DDX11L1, but we'll let that go for another time. So, Otangelo, how do we misunderstand your question about the epistemological framework?
Can I ask you a question though before you answer that? What's your new avatar there, Otangelo?
Well, that's Descartes. I don't know if you know him. If you don't, you can Google it.
No, we don't know Descartes.
You mean Descartes? I don't know who Descartes is, but I do know who Descartes is.
Descartes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell it in English. So,
In His Image just released a new video in the last few minutes called Sexual Selection. This guy is such a fucking genius. We should listen to everything he does. Don't you think?
Who?
But this Emery Moyna guy. He just released a new video.
I gotta say, I like it though when he wears the button-up shirt with the top button instead of the pullover.
Yeah. Whoops.
I'm going to derail everything again. Otangelo, what did we misunderstand about your question?
well, actually the guy Skylar, how he framed the epistemological framework in order to investigate origins. And he didn't understand my questions. And basically what I asked was, what kind of investigation do you do? Do you ask for empirical proofs of God's existence? Do you just use the empirical method, empirical science, just scientism, materialism in order to investigate what worldview is?
What's science?
Yes, so verificationism, scientism, it's that you just permit science as a method to investigate if God exists or not, basically.
It's the best tool ever devised.
Let me ask you a question, Otangelo. What other methodologies have been used other than science?
Theology and philosophy.
No.
Theology is a science.
I said theology and philosophy.
Theology, okay.
But is that real life? Can we see that in real life?
Philosophy?
That's what the point is of science, is seeing it, or can it be something about real life, right?
Yeah, it doesn't work in nature.
Well, basically what I use is theology, philosophy, and science in order to investigate origins and to come to sound conclusions.
You don't use
imagination, though.
You don't use philosophy.
Can you give me an example? Can you give me an example of how we used theology to get to origins?
Well, you can use whatever religious textbook you want. I think it is a valid tool.
Why?
That wasn't exactly answering my question. I'll rephrase. Can you point to something that we found the origins of by using theology?
Well, you ask if we did find. We don't have conclusive answers in regards of ultimate reality. So nobody has answers to that. Otherwise, we would not be here having these discussions. Then everyone would know if God exists or not.
But if that is what you're saying, then we haven't used theology to get to origins. Isn't that correct?
Well, all what I am saying is that, in my view, theology is a valid tool in the mix to investigate origins.
It's a valid tool. It's a valid tool that hasn't produced any results yet. That is what you're saying.
There are no results, Peter.
That's what I'm saying.
A result would be if we would have conclusive answers, which nobody has and can't have, because we cannot investigate what is beyond the physical universe.
Well,
so
right. Hold on, real quick. Let me kind of.
It's just imagination.
Let me comment on that. Okay, but here's the thing: through induction, you can make a very convincing argument that theology has never come to a conclusion on anything. But through the other sciences, through science, we've been able to come to many different conclusions on a number of phenomenon and topics.
And I would
I also think that's
conclusive.
I also think science has provided us with good answers for the origin of our solar system and the Earth. So there are answers.
We verify and confirm them ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I
not just
disagree,
scientists.
Peter. I think there are hypotheses, but if they are compelling, that is another question.
Okay, and I'm not trying to be insulting and not trying to be condescending, but if you say that theology is a good method to get us to origins, and yet theology has not provided us with a single answer on origins yet, how did you decide that it was a good method to use?
Well, this is something which you are claiming and which I strongly disagree.
No, because I just asked you, do you have one single answer on origins that we got from theology? And you said there are no answers. I'm not trying to claim anything. I'm listening to you, and I'm just
It's just philosophy. It doesn't get anywhere.
I'm just repeating what you said.
Well, and I am. Should I repeat for the third time, Peter, what I said previously? I said that nobody of us has conclusive answers in regard of the big question if there is a God or not. There are no proofs. There is no empirical demonstration of that question because the physical universe, we cannot look beyond it. So all we can do is frame a solid epistemological framework, the question which I asked Skylab, and then based on that framework, we can investigate and try to come to valid and most likely answers.
Okay,
we do that
okay, Otangelo, again, I'm not trying to be insulting, but you now changed from origins to the origin of the universe, which isn't the only origins we're talking about.
Okay, I am talking about origins in the sense of the origin of all reality of the physical universe and everything that we know that exists.
Okay.
I'll grant you that both science nor theology has given us the definitive answer yet. Although science has given us a pretty good model that seems to work, whereas theology hasn't yet.
Well, and I misspoke. You said that earlier.
Well, let me answer to that, Peter. I would like to answer to that. I don't think they are competing. I would like to answer to Peter quickly, okay? So you can say yes.
The fucking sentence.
I think John was just trying to talk next, Otangelo, so just give him time to say something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say
Okay,
one sentence.
go ahead.
Halfway through a sentence, and then you start babbling, dude. The thing is is that when I mentioned induction a few moments ago, what I intended on saying and didn't get to it is that you ask about nobody can know whether God exists or doesn't exist, and then now you, as Peter said, you went on to talk about something else about what brought everything about in reality in the natural world. Well, the thing is through induction and through science, we can make the claim that God doesn't exist. I mean, because there's been no, and you even said it yourself, there's been no empirical evidence that a God exists. There's been no observations in nature that indicate that a God exists. So you're right. The bottom line, you're right. We can't prove that a God doesn't exist, but through induction, we certainly can assume a God does not exist. I'm done.
Okay, now I forgot what I wanted to answer.
Hey, Benghazi wanted to ask you a question, Otangelo.
I'll restate what I said. I said science.
Hang on, Peter. Can we get Benghazi's question first from the chat?
Sure.
He wanted it. Okay, he said that you complain, Otangelo, about methodological naturalism. So what method do you use to accurately investigate reality, like right now, today? How do you investigate reality?
Well, let me answer that question. And I did it several times already. I think that methodological naturalism applied to operational science is okay. Because if you go to the microscope and see a protein, you don't ask, is God fiddling there somewhere doing something? What you want to know is how natural mechanisms operate and how the protein works. So that's only natural, and that's fine to exclude supernatural mechanisms. When it comes to origins or past events, then the question is different. Then the question is, how did things actually come to be? And there we need to put all the possible explanations on the table. And since we cannot put events that happened in the past under the microscope, so we can just make, well, we don't know what the conditions were in order to explain the origin of life. We don't know. We don't have a time machine to go back and observe the events that happened in the past.
Don't need one.
We have evidence now, basically through science lab experiments. We do different because it's not going to be exactly how our life origins, but it has shows nature can do things by itself.
If we needed
Otangelo, I can spend
Otangelo.
a half an hour telling you how wrong, how many ways you're wrong about this.
Otangelo, can I ask you my question again?
Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
Which didn't get answered. I said that science has given us a pretty good working model of the origin of the universe. It works. We can test it. It gives us predictions that we can check and see that they're correct.
Match the data.
Theology hasn't given us a single model yet. And yet you think that theology might be an equally good mechanism to find out about origins. If that's the case, then how come theology has never provided us with a working model that can make predictions?
Shall I answer you the same answer for the fourth time, Peter? I said that science doesn't know what exists beyond the physical universe.
That's not what I said.
But that's what if you're doing that.
But that's what I answered. But that's what I answered, because what we try to explain is the origin of all reality, and science doesn't give us that answer.
And
you
science
have no information
gave us,
from that, though.
And science gave us a working model, which is the Big Bang model. And I'm saying theology hasn't given us a single model yet, whether it be on the origin of the universe, whether it be on the origin of life, whether it be on the origin of the solar system, the origin of Earth.
Do you want an answer to that?
Because everyone hold. CRISPR just came in and wants to say something.
So the point is, and I don't know how Otangelo is missing this. The point is that at least science can explain something, right? Theology can't explain anything. Science can explain something. So you need to demonstrate that theology is a possible explanation for anything, because we already know that science is a possible explanation for stuff. So you're putting something with no demonstration of any success in any field against science, which at least has a demonstration of success somewhere. Okay, that's why it's not valid.
So, Peter, Peter, I would like to answer to Peter.
I'll add to what CRISPR just said. I'm not asking you for a model for the origin of the universe. I'm asking you for any model you can think of. Did theology give us any working model that we can actually use today?
I'll give you the model, Peter. Can I answer now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Theology says God in the beginning created the earth, the heavens and the earth. And in John 1:1 it says that God created it through his word. That's the model. The model is intelligence at the bottom of all reality. That's the model.
I hate to say this, Otangelo, but that's not a model. That is a claim lacking a model.
So what is a model?
The model explains how and not what. So if you say God created the world, the model would be, and here's how he did it.
And I explained it to you. I said through the information of his mind and his intelligence. An intelligent designer.
No evidential.
He made an input of information, and through his power, he instantiated the universe, the Earth, the planet Earth, the stars, life, and biodiversity,
what mechanism,
consciousness, and
let me. Okay, I'll try and simplify it. What mechanism did he use to convert words into actual matter?
I don't know.
What is the mechanism? That would be the model.
I don't know, but I know it works, because by our own experience we know that the interface mind physical body actually functions. When I say to my arm to move it, it moves. So we have empirical evidence that it works.
Does God have a body? Does he have an arm?
May I say something? Am I possible to say something? Can I say something?
Yeah.
You are.
Okay. So the model is based on physical, chemical, or chemical or biological law or interactions to provide a way how something will appear. So you have to have a specific law based on which the model is built up. So that is the model.
Sorry, can I say something real quick, please?
Yeah.
Can I cite Amy? Can I cite Amy first? Amy said, "As a model or a theory is a framework of facts that explain a phenomenon." I think that's pretty much
that's
what
also
I was
very
trying.
nice.
What I was trying to.
Then matter has absolutely no model at all, because we have never observed that natural mechanisms can instantiate life.
What?
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 You still go back to one single thing. I made it a lot broader than you think I did. I asked you for one.
A bigger problem. Sorry.
I asked you for one model, and we don't have to.
I'm not sure if
John, wait a minute. I asked you for one model. We don't have to pin it down to one specific model. Any model about explaining anything.
Okay, so I would say that materialism has no model at all.
But it has. We have the Big Bang model. We have the theory of evolution. We have germ theory. We have the theory of gravity. We've got tons of models. I want you to present me just one model that we got from theology, because I'm not aware that we have such a model.
And now you ask exactly the same question which I answered.
No, you haven't answered it yet.
Wait, this is why I want to jump in. Let me jump in. I'm trying to steel man his argument, and this is why he keeps repeating the same thing over and over again. Because Otangelo is saying, from his point of view, he's already given the model, and I agree with him. It's a pretty poor model, but he gave it. He read some scripture where it said, God, with his mind, with his words, he brought this stuff into agreement. And then he was going back and forth with Peter earlier about science not being able to look beyond the natural world. So that's his model. God spoke.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm not done. God spoke it into being, and his model is supernatural causation.
Yeah.
Okay. And I asked one specific question. I asked one specific question about the model, and that is that the model can make predictions. Can you name me one prediction your model gives us that we can test that actually works?
Yes, of course. Okay. I can predict, or I can even make a post-diction that intelligence.
No, not a post-diction, a prediction. Something that you say will happen, and then we can test it.
Okay, intelligence can make blueprints, and upon these blueprints, it can construct communication systems.
No, it can't.
Which instantiate the making. Can I finish, please? Which can
you're already wrong.
Wow, can I finish?
Intelligence
please?
without something.
Wow. Speed.
Otangelo,
Otangelo,
I've heard you say this. I've heard you say this several times already. So I'll cut it short. Can you give me a blueprint that God made? One.
Well, why do I need it? I can extrapolate that our experience as intelligent
because if
beings,
you say it
can I
exists,
finish? Peter, can I finish, please?
Yes, then but if you say it exists, then you need to produce it.
Peter, can you finish? Can I finish, please? Then you may understand what I am saying, okay? We do not have any evidence whatsoever that non-intelligent mechanisms can instantiate blueprints, machines, and factories. No evidence.
Here's my point.
Hold on.
And we have no evidence that a God ever made a blueprint.
But we know that intelligence can do it, and God is intelligent.
We know that intelligence can do it, but we do not know that a God can do it. And you're claiming you are claiming that a God can do it.
Okay, we got to start fucking muting people left and right, whatever. Let's see. Okay, Christopher wanted to say something. We got a lot of people in the room, and now
I also want to say something.
And so we got Dak wants to say something. 11th Dimension wants to say something. Christopher wants to say something. How are we going to handle this? And I am getting very tired.
You decide.
All right, here we go. Here's how we're going to handle it. We're going to start in the order that he just said. Speed mentioned a bunch of different people, and we're gonna go around a room, and whoever's turn it is talk. Take a minute. Don't take like 5 minutes. A minute.
Take a minute.
Yeah.
Who's scratching?
Okay, so 11th is first. On my list, I'm going to go 11th Dimension first, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Well,
but I just really fast because this is important as a point of just how you run a room. You got one person in here.
Huh?
You got one person in here on one side, and you got a bunch of other people on the other side.
Right.
Like you got to let Otangelo. If you're going to do a minute and a minute, that's fine. But you got to let Otangelo in.
He gets.
I fully agree.
That's a good point.
I fully agree.
11th Dimension, you go, and then Otangelo, you get to respond to everybody in turn. As they
1 minute you get Otangelo. You don't get the Rita's Cat's board. Okay.
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 Go
So
ahead.
11th Dimension, you had a comment.
Okay, so intelligence is involved in the origin of life according to your hypothesis. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, to make something intelligent, so we usually plan ahead. So, in order to make a car, for example, you have a draw first, draft, you making a planning, you make your car, and after that you put some sort of testing. Once you test the car, how it works, you make changes and so on. So you plan everything, and suddenly you release a production line with the already very well proved and improved car because you planned in ahead. Is that correct?
Yes.
So-
Human-made things, yes.
Exactly. So therefore, you have to see how pre-planned is according to your hypothesis. You have to observe very good pre-planning in the life and the origin of life, and let me say in the life by itself, how it's constructed. So you have to see a very good, nice pre-planned situation.
That was a minute.
Okay. My question was yes or no?
Yes, and to answer, of course, God is much, much more intelligent than we are, so he doesn't need to make test drives. He knows beforehand exactly how to create life.
Okay, good. That's exactly what I was expecting that you will say. Here's the question, how to continue? I don't know, am I allowed to continue?
Yeah, because there's still 45 seconds of Otangelo's time left. Now it's 37 seconds.
Oh boy. So can I continue or not?
That's what I said, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so once you observe how actually life is built up, you see so many ways that it's not pre-planned. The life is not pre-planned. There's so many things that can be much better done. So therefore, it's not intelligently pre-planned work. That's it. I can give examples, but I don't have time for that.
Okay.
So who's next, Speed?
Can I go next, please?
Christopher.
Please.
Yeah, right. So mine's pretty fast. Otangelo said that you only see design coming from intelligence, so we can infer intelligence when we see design. I would point out that we only see intelligence coming from brains made out of meat. So by his same logic, we must conclude that any design we see comes from brains made out of meat. So either he accepts that all intelligence is from brains made out of meat, or he rejects his initial logic, and we're back to square one. So which one is it?
All right, go
God
ahead,
is a
Otangelo.
disembodied mind. Yeah, God is a disembodied mind, which is beyond above the physical world, which he instantiated, so he can exist without.
There's zero evidence for that.
Body.
Reclaiming my time. There is zero evidence for anything of that sort. So you cannot say that. That is nonsense. We have no evidence for any kind of disembodied mind. We only have evidence for intelligence coming from brains made out of meat.
Well, we have no evidence that matter can instantiate consciousness
that's not how it works.
and intelligence. Can I finish?
That's not how it works. No, you can't, because it's still my time.
Okay. So finish your time. I will not interrupt you. Go ahead.
So that's the point. That's the point. Is if you're going to make the argument that we can only infer X, that if we see X doing Y and we see Y, we can infer X, you have to apply that to everything. Okay? And so we see, what do we see? We see natural things causing natural things. So we can infer natural things cause natural things. We see intelligence from brains made out of meat. We can infer the same thing. We do not see disembodied intelligence ever.
So, Otangelo, take like 15 seconds to respond to that, and then we'll go to the next person.
Yeah, we have plenty of evidence of NDEs where minds can leave their body and go to other rooms and see things there and then say what they saw. So there is plenty of evidence for that. And I
None of that's validated. Absolutely none of that's validated scientifically.
Dak?
Yeah, I'd like to know, if Otangelo thinks his God can do what he just said minds can do, because I've never seen his God show up in a room and say anything. But also, in addition, he's talking about things being made by minds. I'd like to see that happen because, humans make things mostly with their hands and with tools. We use physical stuff to make things. And I don't know of any mind that we've ever witnessed making anything without the use of physical stuff to do it. And yet he seems to think it's silly to invite his God to interact in an environment where he has to do something physical in order to be able to, show himself. So apparently his God is not only disembodied, but incapable of interacting with the real world, which to me indicates that his God is not a creator that creates things in the world he lives in, but rather a creation of the mind in his, meat brain.
Your response to that, Altandra, you got a minute?
First of all, Speed, can you give me the range? I would like to post a link, some links in regards of the answers which I'm giving.
Nah, not today. Put them in private chat.
Okay, so if you want, you can put it in public chat. And answering to you, Dak, of course, God has become human in Jesus Christ, and he has made miracles and resurrected, which is evidence that he exists.
Yeah, and I don't believe that Jesus Christ is God. I believe that's a character in a story. So and that's not around now for you to demonstrate. So if God couldn't do anything without actually being that, physical human being descended from a human being, then he couldn't have made human beings for that human being to be descended from.
All right, Peter.
Yeah, so I've been waiting. So Otangelo, first a quick question: have you read the Bible?
Yes, of course.
Okay, because earlier on, I think CRISPR made the argument that God didn't need to have test periods, right? God didn't need any testing. Is that correct?
To create the physical universe and Earth and life and biodiversity, no.
Why does the Bible list 3 testing periods? And still God comes up with a failed product. First, he creates Adam and Eve, who fuck up and get thrown out of paradise. That was testing period 1. Then we get into testing period 2, which is the period between Adam and Eve being kicked out and Noah's flood, which is the second testing period. And still, God comes up with a very flawed human being, which doesn't listen to him, screws everything up. So God needs a third testing period in which we found ourselves today. And according to the Bible, humans are still flawed. So God, after 3 testing periods, which would start really at the beginning of your creation, whether or not that's 6,000 years ago or not.
So Peter, you got to wrap up, man. You're way over a minute.
Okay, so 3 testing periods, still a flawed product. I wouldn't call that intelligence.
Okay, that is in regards of free will. God gave us free will, so it was planned that humans could eventually disobey God. That has nothing to do with his creative power. He didn't have to make attempts to create humans and the universe and so forth. He created it in one shot. And I think
just to clarify, Otangelo, is your God omniscient?
Yes.
Okay, so your God created humans
with
the intent to fail.
No, he created humans having free will and
knowing that they would fail,
being able to choose. Yes, he knew beforehand.
Before he created them, he knew they would fail.
Yes,
so
correct.
He created a failed product.
No, yes. I disagree with you.
All right, so
Angelo,
take 10 more seconds to wrap up your counterpoint.
Can I ask one quick clarifying question?
Next time, you already got way more than everybody else. Go ahead, Otangelo. Take 10 seconds to wrap this up, and then we're going to go on to the next person.
No, you can go to the next person.
All right, so a rational empiricist.
I don't have a question for Otangelo. I will just say that I want to ask CRISPR something before the stream ends. So go ahead, everyone else.
Yep, and then Top Dog, did you want to get in here?
Just say that he's just basing off imagination from other people's imagination. So,
And
It's just
I
like a comic book.
John, can I,
hold on. I don't need to take any time. I think you guys are doing fine, and a couple other people are saying they're staying out of it. Speed, did you want to ask or talk to Otangelo?
Oh, most certainly not.
Okay.
Can I ask that last clarifying question? I'll take less than 10 minutes. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
Otangelo, is your God powerful enough to create a perfect product?
Yes.
Okay. At least you have now validated my point.
So
that he created us imperfect on purpose because he can create a perfect being.
I disagree with you.
Well, no, but I mean, isn't what Peter's saying true? Because you just agreed he could create a perfect product, yet he created flawed human beings. So you're saying that if he has a good reason,
he chose to create an imperfect product.
Okay, let me answer. The Bible says that when he looked at his creation, he said it was very good. He didn't say it is perfect. What I believe that there will be a new creation which will be perfect, but his intention was not to create a perfect world, which is the one in which we live in now.
Can I say something?
Otangelo, that would imply that your God is not perfect, because a perfect being,
that's not logical.
I'm trying to explain. A perfect being would not settle for something imperfect. It would only settle for something perfect.
No,
because if an imperfect, yes, it does. Because if a perfect being would settle for something imperfect, it would no longer be an imperfect being, because it would be happy enough.
What you intended wrong there, Peter. What you meant allows perfect.
I understood what you wanted to say. Yeah, you said that God, as being a perfect being, would not create something which is not perfect, and I disagree with you. I think that God created the world as he did, with specific purposes and intentions. He said that it was very good. And
I agree with you.
And I don't think that this removes this perfection.
Wait, hold on. All right.
I agree.
There's a lot of other people wanting to get in. Top Dog spoke up and
John, just one last statement. I agree with Otangelo. He set out to create something imperfect. So that's my point made.
What was it you were trying to say there, Top Dog?
Basically, what does Otangelo think what free will is in reality?
Being free to make whatever choice you want, and you're possible to make.
But that's based on our brains and how our environment around us, what we learn.
And it goes against the Bible.
Well, let me suppose that you are walking on a road and you arrive at the crossroad where you have two equal possible possibilities to go to the right or the left, and neither one or the other seems to be better. Then you make a free choice and choose, I want to go to the right rather than to the left, based on your free will and ability to choose.
Which according
or
to
the convenience too. Like we're right-handed or something.
Well, maybe there is no convenience to go to one road over the other, and you simply freely choose to go in the one road.
Well, that's something that, because you don't understand or don't know about the convenience, or your subconscious might choose for you.
Yes, but you make a free choice.
Angelo, can I please ask a question here? Just a clarifying question. Okay, you're saying the free will, right or left, you choose which way to go. But did God know you would choose to go right long before you made the choice?
Yes, God knows everything, also the future.
Okay. All right.
Then he had no free will.
Can you then make a different choice if God knows the outcome?
Yes, you are free to choose, even if God knows the future.
Well, then God could be wrong. If God could be wrong, then
that's important. That's important. If God knows that you're going to go right, and you choose to go left, is God wrong?
No, because he knows.
Did you just screw up his perfect plan for humans?
No, because he knows beforehand the choice which you will make.
Yes. So
you
if
can make a different choice.
if he knows I'm going right and I choose to go left, what happens then?
Well, he knows what you will choose to do. He knows it beforehand. Whatever you choose, he knows it beforehand. But you are not restricted to choose.
So I don't have a choice. I need to go right.
No, you are choosing what direction you want to go. God simply knows it, but that doesn't interfere in your choice.
May I clarify?
Okay, can we got to move on, man? There's other people in here, and we can't. You know, Dax had his hand up for like 11 years now, so I can't. The other people are behind Avatar, so I don't know if they've got their hands up or not. So I'm just going to start. We started before, and at the 11th dimension. Do you have anything else to get in on right now?
I have two simple questions.
All right, go ahead.
To Angelo. First question is,
what I've been doing is I've been setting the timer for 2 minutes. When so you guys collectively have 2 minutes, and I'm just keeping track of, so you can go back and forth. Is what I guess I'm saying.
According to what Angelo said, the science cannot. The science that studied the past in the past or what happened before, it's not reliable science. Is that correct?
Well, we have simply not all the data. So, what I've outlined many times before is that currently science does not permit intelligent design as the best, eventually the best explanation of a certain phenomena which is observed in the natural world. And I think that a priori exclusion is arbitrary and leads to bad science. That's my point.
Okay, so according to this answer, it looks like there's no such a thing as a forensic science. So you can never discover who is the victim in the past. So who is the killer? You will not be able to discover it because it's simply not. You don't have all the evidence, and you cannot discover what's happened. So
well, I give you an example. Let's suppose you arrive at the crime scene, and there is a man with a bullet in his chest, and you call the inspector, the investigator, and tell him, "I want you to investigate that crime scene, but I want you only to find natural explanations which caused the death of the person." What would you say?
Well,
that's a very bad example.
Yeah.
It's not the good example.
I would just like that you answer. No, I would like just that you answer to my question. What would you say if the person would say to you, "You are the investigator," and that person would say to you, "I want that you investigate the crime scene. I want that you find out what happened, but you cannot mention any intelligent person which killed that person which is dead there." What would you say?
The person would be natural explanation.
Yeah, person would be natural explanation.
I'd say, "Oh shit!"
Let's see the evidence again. I would say, "Let's see the evidence."
No, what you would say is, "Well, why don't you permit that I can infer a criminal which killed that person?" That's what you would say. You would say, "Hey, if you want me to investigate that crime scene, then you need to permit me that any evidence where it leads to can be inferred as the most likely and best explanation."
Since it's
that's
agree.
what we do not. And
I
that's
agree
what
with that.
Yeah, and that's what we do not see in science, where God cannot be inferred because supposedly he cannot be investigated and he is supernatural.
If we're still rotating, I think it's mine now, right? I heard the timer.
So that's a criminal.
I'm staying on the topic is the thing.
Okay,
I don't have time, so you can continue. So I can talk a lot, but let's continue.
I'm giving you guys another minute since Peter kind of took a lot of time. So if you want to Peter
usually does.
Yeah. I'm not saying that as like ripping on you. I'm just trying to be fair to the other people. But yeah, 11th dimension. You have time to respond to him if you'd like.
Okay, just a quick response. Yes, I agree with you. In that terminology and crime scene, I could permit either intelligent source for crime or not intelligent source for crime. Have to be investigated. I agree with it. So let's continue in the future discussion that yes, they probably could be intelligent designer.
All right, go ahead, CRISPR.
Thank you, Dimitri. I appreciate your answer.
Yeah. So the thing is that intelligence isn't excluded a priori. I mean, Otangelo is just wrong there when he says that.
No,
so
I'm not wrong.
Yes,
I'm
you are
sorry.
wrong.
I'm still talking.
No.
I'm still talking. I'm going to go ahead and talk. So what we exclude, right, is mechanisms that are not demonstrated, right? So if you want to say that I think X causes Y, you have to demonstrate the possibility of X, okay? And so like when we talk about abiogenesis as an explanation for life, we have to demonstrate abiogenesis before we can use it as an explanation for life. So right now we don't have any complete explanation for life. We're working on abiogenesis. Now, likewise, if you want to use intelligence as an explanation for life, you have to demonstrate the possibility of the mechanistic action of intelligence prior to life, which you cannot do. And so until you can do that, demonstrate the mechanistic possibility of intelligence before life, you can't use intelligence as an explanation for that life. Although you can use a criminal to explain somebody getting shot because we know criminals shoot people. That's the difference.
Okay. I said that many times before, you do not need an explanation of the explanation. If I say that intelligence is the best case adequate explanation for the origin
That's not an
of
explanation.
life. Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish, please? Can I finish,
yes,
please?
please let him finish.
Can I finish, please? Okay. I say that we have two possible mechanisms to explain the origin of life. One is intelligence, and one is unguided natural chemical stochastic events. Now, if you do not find an adequate explanation through natural mechanisms, then by default, the alternative explanation is the right one, even if you cannot explain how that intelligence actually instantiated life.
Okay, now, quickly, because I've been wanting to do this for a while.
Still have more time. Go ahead.
Right. So you just said you don't need an explanation for your explanation. Abiogenesis is my explanation for life. I don't need to explain my explanation. You just lost. Thanks. That's the end of the game.
Second time.
Of course not. Let me answer to that. Of course not.
Thank you.
Abiogenesis research is trying for over
so you're
70
saying you
years.
do need.
Can I finish, please?
So now you're saying.
Can I
no,
finish,
you can't.
please?
Now you can't because I'm reclaiming my time. So now you're saying. So now you're saying you do need an explanation for your explanation. Please provide your explanation for the intelligence that created life.
No, that's not what I am saying. What I am saying is
literally
that.
What you said. That's literally what.
Wow. Can I answer, please?
Well, sure, but I'm just saying that's literally what.
Can I require 1
I
minute
doubt it.
to answer? I would like 1 minute to answer.
Okay, you've got about
We have two competing hypotheses here. One is intelligence acting upon matter, instantiating the complexity in life, and the other mechanism is random, stochastic, unguided, natural events.
No, it's not.
Creating.
That's a straw
Can I
man.
finish, please?
That is a straw man.
Can I finish, please? Can I finish, please? When I finish, then you can answer.
Repeat.
Okay. So
you better hurry
I
up.
say,
You got 20 seconds to finish.
Hurry up, Otangelo.
okay. So we have two competing mechanisms. One is intelligence, and the second is just natural forces on a prebiotic Earth where no intelligence was involved. Once you have excluded natural mechanisms because science has failed actually to explain how.
No, they haven't excluded.
Can I finish, please?
Not quickly enough, apparently.
Actually, you're finished, so Tangelo.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
you're finished.
Go to Dak, because we know what you're going to say. We heard it a long time, many times. But go ahead, Dak.
Yeah. Well, I forgot several things I wanted to say already by now.
That's
but
what pen and paper's for.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm muting myself over here because I'm cracking up. I mean, this is hilarious. Thank you for
real
that.
quick,
But
I just throw this in there before you go on? It's funny. Well, no, because right before you started, I could have swore I heard that Otangelo just said that naturalism was refuted. That's what I took from what he was saying. That naturalism has been proven to be wrong. So that we must infer God exists.
Seems to be at least implying that. I mean, the whole thing is we use naturalism, so to speak. You know, the looking into nature to figure things out. We haven't yet found a mind that does stuff without using matter and energy to do it. And and even if there was intelligence involved in abiogenesis, we have no evidence of a disembodied intelligence. We have no evidence of any kind of a super intelligence. And if God really knew everything in advance, then yeah, free will wouldn't exist, because God would have predetermined what we were deciding at the beginning. He wouldn't have been able to not do that, because no matter what he chose to do, he would have known what the resulting decisions we made would have been. So the whole thing is just hilariously ridiculous. And then Otangelo thinks his God can't speak up, can't speak up for himself, can't show up and do anything for himself. And yet somehow he could do what nature supposedly couldn't. Well, I like to propose the fact that nature itself might have some very base level of intelligence, in the sense that, an electron, you could say, knows that it's attracted to a proton. I mean, not knows in the sense of like it can think about it and go, well, maybe I don't want to be. But
real quick. So what I've been doing since the last time Peter had a turn is I've let everybody have 4 minutes. I've ran the clock.
I've said enough.
Well, no, I'm just saying I ran the clock twice, the 2-minute clock twice, and you used up the first 2 minutes already. So wrap up what you were saying, and then I'm going to give Angela 2 minutes.
I've said enough. Like I said, I forgot most of the stuff I wanted to say anyway. So on to the next person. Thank you.
All right. So if you want to take up the 2 minutes, Otangelo will respond to Dak. You may.
Well, I think all these points have been exactly been answered in this live stream, and you are simply repeating them, Dak. One thing is that God can know everything what happens in the future, but that doesn't remove our free will to actually freely choose what we. Wow. Can I finish? I mean, hey.
Sure, but I thought that should be corrected, because yes, it does. If he knows what you are going to decide, then you aren't really deciding if he did, because
let him finish.
Okay.
Well, either I have 2 minutes to respond.
You do. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm finished. Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead, Otangelo. If your mic's working, go.
No, I'm finished. Next.
Okay. So you can take 10 seconds to respond if you want that. You don't need it?
Sorry, yeah. I didn't want to interrupt. I just really felt like, it is. It absolutely removes free will if God knows before he makes a decision what decision his decision is going to cause you to make. You can't decide anything for yourself. And on top of that, if you choose to do whatever you think your God wants you to do, then you've removed any possibility of you having free will, even if you did have a free will.
Right.
And on top of that, if you have no way of knowing whether or not your God is actually telling you anything, and you're just doing the things you think your God is telling you to do, you're giving your free will away to something that you don't even know what is. You might be doing whatever the devil tells you to do, for all you know.
Dak. Here, let me steel man Otangelo, because I know what his and other creationists argument is about this. Okay, I agree with your argument.
Go ahead.
John, put me up first, because I can steel man it and I can demolish it.
I've said very little throughout this, so I'm going to take a turn right now, and I will go. You're next, Peter. See, the thing is like with like different theories of time. Okay. He knows what you're going. The way it is for like creationists is God knows what you are going to do, because you already had the chance to make the decision, because he sees time in in all time periods in concurrence with one another. Their argument is you still got to make your decision. It's just that God, from the way he looks at time, he saw you make your decision in real time. So that's how he knows what you will do. But that you still, in your time frame, lived your life, made the decisions you were going to make. It's just that because God is in all time, he was able to see what decision you made. But I agree with what you're saying. If God knows what you will do, you can't do anything but that. But that's their explanation, is that
it's will, not free will.
Yeah, it's not God predetermining what you'll do. It's God being able to look at all of time and see the decision that you made.
Yeah, so he decided what your will would be. It wasn't free.
I can't disagree with that.
Guys, I can fix this.
You're next, Peter.
Okay. Otangelo, first I need to steelman 2 of your claims. The first one, you say that humans have free will, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You also claimed that God will not interfere with our free will, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Can you point me to the amount of people that used their free will to opt out of Noah's flood, and where we can find them and where it talks about these people in the Bible, please?
Sorry, I didn't understand your question. Can you answer again?
We have free will. God will not interfere with our free will. I'm pretty sure that if you ask anyone on the planet, the last thing they want to do is die. So they will use their free will not to die. Can you tell me how many people opted out of Noah's flood, so not getting killed, by using their free will, and where the Bible addresses these people, and how many were there?
Well, God judged these people upon their evil doings, and that was judgment. And in that case, it's not. They are not. It has nothing to do anymore with free will.
So
when I say that,
premise, hold on.
This
is still my minute. So you are saying now that God will interfere with humans' free will when he chooses to.
Yes.
So which is it? God doesn't interfere with our free will, or God does?
Well, when we come to this earth and we have normal life, then we are free to make our choices with who we want to marry, what profession that we want to follow, and so forth.
So what? I'll sum up.
I'll sum up with regards of that.
I'll sum up with what you're saying right now. We have free will as long as we do exactly what God tells us to do, which is the opposite of free will.
No, yes. I disagree with you. I mean, if God commands that we should not kill some people, and someone disobeys, he doesn't do God's will.
Will God respect?
His free
Will God respect someone's free will to be homosexual?
Well, I mean, if he wouldn't permit it, then there would be no homosexual.
I didn't say permit. I didn't say permit. I said respect, and I said respect because respect would mean that they couldn't be judged on that particular part of their free will.
Well, that is another issue. God commands us to do certain things, and if we don't do them, then there are consequences. That is
okay, so I'll steelman your answer now. So God doesn't allow us to have free will. This is the second thing. This is the second thing where God does not allow us to have free will. Correct.
Well, we are moving goalposts. The question was,
we either have free will, we either have free will or we don't.
Okay, so
I'm bringing up points where you now say that we do not have free will.
Okay, let me give you an example. The government says that you should not trespass a red light, and if you trespass it, then you will be fined. Now you arrive at the red light. Are you free to trespass the red light, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I mean with free will.
we are free to make our decisions. The consequences of our decisions, that's an entirely different topic.
The consequences of our choices are our own.
But that's another topic.
I didn't ask you whether or not it was allowed and we would be fined afterwards. I asked you if God respects our free will.
All right, so
the answer to that was no.
15 seconds left, and it's got to belong to Otangelo. Go ahead, Otangelo.
Well, again, that's another topic. The question was if we have really free will, and I said in the beginning that if you arrive at the crossroad and you have two equal possibilities to go to the right or the left, then God does not impede you to make your choice and choose which road that you want to go. That's the entire point. So we have free will to make choices. The consequences of our choices, that's an entirely different topic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the other thing is too, Peter, is like, I agree with you guys on all of this, but I can understand what Otangelo is saying because, you know, he's saying, well, he's saying that, yeah, God still lets you have your free will, but you might get your ass kicked for some of your choices, just like in the real world and his red light example. If you go through the red light, possibly going to be.
Yes, but that's not free will, and I could make an argument that God doesn't even have free will.
Yeah, well, that's
according
true. Real quick,
could I add something real short?
Real quick. Okay, I want to. These guys passed last time, and I want to see if they're going to get in this time. Rational empiricist, did you want to get in this round?
Didn't have anything for Otangelo, if that's what you're asking.
Yep, top dog. How about you?
Is there anything in creationism or intelligent design that hasn't been debunked? Otangelo.
I don't know of anything. I think that creationism and intelligent design is true, and I think that materialism has not provided any answer whatsoever in regards of origins. None.
But you haven't been paying attention.
Okay,
Or reading.
I respect your view on that.
Speed, are you getting in this time? Huh?
Am I what?
Do you want to get in on that?
Did we make you up, Speed?
No, I don't give a shit about this this angle of attack. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. So, yeah,
Well,
I'm just.
do we want to stop this?
I'm leaving the room open for you guys. I'm doing a service.
Could I say something short?
Yeah, as long as it's short, and then we're going to go back to the beginning.
Okay, just about the traffic analogy, I just wanted to point out that you know, if I'm driving a car and I choose to run a red light and have the government reward me $1 million for doing so, my free will, you know, has limitations in the physical world. The physical world I live in overrules my free will, even if I have free will. And if that is something we can apply to all minds, since Otangelo wants to treat God's mind like a human mind, then that means that God is if he exists, also going to be overridden by physical reality. So the fact that he seems not to be able to do anything physical indicates to me that his God probably isn't real at all. And if it's very limited.
Can I steel man that part even
even
more?
Actually,
because
I want to give Otangelo a chance to respond to what that
just 10 seconds to steel man what Donald just said. The rules, the traffic rules, we made up with our free will, so we are still using our free will to implement traffic rules
collectively.
Yes.
But that's not my free will.
Yeah.
No, but
Otangelo, did you want to respond to what Dak said?
Well, that could have a case if we would have actually have answers in regards of our existence through merely non-intelligent natural mechanisms. We don't have such answers whatsoever. So since we do not have these, wow.
Well, no, all he did was he just said, "I say we do." He just was refuting your claim right there, real quick.
We got 9 working hypotheses, so we have answers.
Well, having hypotheses doesn't mean that they are compelling. I mean, in regards of abiogenesis, there.
Tell us how your God did it.
I have categorized over 40 different hypotheses in regards of abiogenesis. Yes, you did. And
no, I said working. I said working hypotheses.
There is not one working hypothesis in regards of the origin of life. None.
You're right. There's not only one.
Yeah,
there are 9.
No, working there is none. Otherwise, we would know how life emerged from non-life. We don't know that by natural means.
We don't know the past just because we know how things can happen.
We don't know which one or ones. We know there are 9 working.
No, I disagree. There are none whatsoever. If you want to have a conversation in detail, you can present them one by one. You can come to my channel, and then we can have a prolonged conversation regarding
Otangelo, I know
argument from ignorance.
Otangelo, I know you watch.
Check it out. Check it out. No. I'm taking control.
Just real quick, John. Just real quick, Otangelo. I know you watch Arn Ross' channel. He made a video on those hypotheses. I suggest you go watch it.
I invited him many times to have a direct conversation with me. He has refused. We had a very long
because he has
debate.
The video up already.
We had a very long written debate on. I
know.
And you can look it up. If you think that he has a case, hey, bring him open to have a conversation with you.
I'm not saying that he doesn't.
Each of these hypotheses, if you say they are working,
Hold on a second. Peter.
and Otangelo. Both of you guys need to listen to John. He's the moderator. When John starts to say something, you kind of got to listen to him. Okay, both of you.
Okay.
And just before we're gonna go and give 11th Dimension the next chance here, but I wanted to ask Otangelo about something you said at the beginning of responding to Peter. You said something to the effect that of not just believing a hypothesis or something to that effect. Well, I can't remember your exact words.
Well, I think Peter said a working hypothesis, and that's what I want to see.
But even before that, you had said, when you started to respond to Peter, you said something about not accepting a hypothesis just because it's forwarded, okay? And the reason I found that statement so beautiful is then we have the same right to do that about your God hypothesis, don't we? It's just a hypothesis.
You can make up
the hypothesis.
Well, the thing is, you can make up whatever hypothesis you want. I can say my hypothesis is that a farting pixies instantiated the universe, and
that's exactly. Yes, you can make things up. Okay, plants make life from non-life all the time. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead and finish, Otangelo.
So, just saying that, we have a hypothesis, that means nothing. You have actually to provide good reasons why a hypothesis actually is a compelling answer. And that's what I want to see. If you keep saying we have 9 working hypotheses in regards of abiogenesis, hey, be my guest, provide them, and we can look it up.
That's why Peter said go watch that.
John, real quick.
No, Peter, not real quick. Hey, check it out. Peter told you, said that's why you need to go watch that video on our Roz. He's not just saying there's 9. Hold on. Peter wasn't just saying, and the other fellows in here aren't just saying there's 9 hypotheses. There's 9 guesses out there. Yeah, there is 9 hypotheses fleshed out to the point that they show actual ways that abiogenesis could
working hypotheses.
Yeah.
Guess what, John? I know basically all these hypotheses. I have not seen one that is working.
No.
And
Real quick, Otangelo, name one.
Peter, please.
Let him name one. Let him name one of the hypotheses. If he has checked all of the 9, let him name one.
There is the RNA world, there is the metabolism first, there is the protein world, there is the metal hypothesis that cofactors came through metals, and there is the hydrothermal hypothesis, and I can go on. There is the lipids world. Do you understand
one of them?
Oh,
well, that is what I study on a daily basis.
You don't seem to understand any of them.
Do you understand
Otangelo,
Hey, what? Hey, Beck,
plants
what do
make
you know?
life from non-life all
Donald,
the time, and they're
what
not
do
intelligent. Do you
Donald,
think
what?
plants are
Donald,
intelligent?
can I answer? What
Otangelo,
do you know
think
about
plants are
what I
intelligent?
know or don't
Because
know?
they make life from dirt.
Hey, listen, what do you know about what I
Otangelo, you
know
gotta
or
shut up.
don't know?
Okay,
Shut up for just 1 second, all right? Well, there's so many people in this room.
What the fuck?
I mean, and everybody wants to get in, and every time somebody else jumps in when it's not their turn, you're kind of you're doing to them what got
Okay,
done.
I want to say one thing and then leave.
know-
Can I do that? And then I'll just let everybody else talk. And I just want to go because
No, because you already talked for a long time when you weren't supposed to. Here's the thing.
Okay.
CRISPR put a
Then I'll
very
wait
good
and I'll
idea
do
in the private chat at the beginning.
If I can remember.
If you remember a question, write it the fuck down, and then you won't forget it until when it comes to be your turn again.
I'll put it in the private chat.
Well,
John, I have to.
And then I'll go.
John, I have to apologize because I asked my question wrong. Probably a language barrier thing. I should have
And
asked.
thank you for my time here.
Can you explain one of them? That's
Well,
what I should have asked.
I mean, here's the thing. Hold on, Tangelo. You didn't have to answer that. Look, you might have asked your question wrong, but the way you asked it told us a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
But go ahead, 11th dimension, if you wanted to get back in on it.
So give me just 1 or 2 minutes, and after my question,
Well,
I have to
between the two of you, you got 4 minutes. Go ahead.
I have to leave the chat after that, so you'll have more space and time. Otangelo, you said that there is two valid approaches to origin of life. One is intelligent designer, and other is chemistry, physics, and so on. And I agree with you. You can accept that there is two approaches to this particular question. Let's play in your game. So let's assume that this is a valid hypothesis for intelligent designer, and try to figure it out which one is more likely, either the intelligent designer or chemical or physical-chemical interactions for origin of life. And also, once we analyze all of the data and hypotheses and physical-chemical laws, you will see very clearly that the likeliness of intelligent designer diminish completely and almost is going away. So, first of all, you said clearly that you don't see any hypothesis for origin of life, which is based on a physical-chemical laws, to be valid and prove anything. I want to point again, probably for the third time, that hypothesis in a scientific way mean you have base, and the base is a law, physical-chemicals law. Based on a physical-chemical law, the things happens. You have a specific reactions, you have specific outcomes and specific interactions. Therefore, everything is shown as a different and step by step, different interactions going to the point. Therefore,
that was actually 2 minutes, but go ahead and take what you need to wrap it up.
And I'll finish and I'll go. So therefore, any hypothesis for origin of life is a millions of times more likely than intelligent designer, because creation of life by intelligent designer, it's equal to miracle. The miracle by default is very low probability event. In any cases, physical-chemicals approaches, physical-chemicals interactions, it's much more likely when every single step is proven to be correct than a miracle, which is extremely low probability event. And the second thing, if you analyze how biology is built up, you will see so many places where there is no pre-planning of the design. Therefore, once you don't have pre-planning of the design, they automatically mean you have a natural explanation. So I don't want to go in examples, but there is many examples how there is no even planning in a design, so-called design of the biological world. So
And
that's
so,
it.
Tangela, you can take up 2 minutes to respond to that if you like.
I will quote here Demeter from a science paper which I was reading today. It is the ribosome as a missing link in the evolution of life, and they admit that the gap is enormous between the simplicity toward complexity models. And what kind of evolvable entities might breach this gap? So this science paper is from 2015, relatively recent.
Hey, what's the next sentence?
And, wow, can I finish? Can I finish, please? And I mean, you study the ribosome, and I am studying him since we started our conversations, and this is a huge topic. But what I see is that you require foresight in order to make machines, which make machines, which make other machines, which make subunits of the ribosome, and then the subunits, they are test drived. They go through a test drive, and when the subunit is a working one, it is incorporated in the maturation of the ribosome. This requires foresight.
Hang on, Tangela. I gotta call it there. Don't go all ribosome on us. Can you guys wrap up so we can end the stream? You're welcome to find Tangela, I'm sure would love to host another stream. So
okay, I'm leaving out.
Oh, okay. Thanks for being here, Demeter. Sorry, I had to hold people to time, but so look, if CRISPR had anything else he wanted to say in closing, and then Peter had a turn coming, but just if you had anything else to say, you guys go ahead, CRISPR.
Not in closing. I just wanted to know what the next sentence was.
What the next sentence and what Tangela was saying?
Yeah, he was quoting from something. I just want to know
So,
what the next sentence
okay,
was.
let's make finish sentence and I'll go. With all of the science behind, with all of the,
is my fire alarm going off?
No, that was my timer going off, but just go ahead, Demeter.
with all of the scientific paper, and you probably called Loren Williams paper from 2015, he definitely have so many things that he said in the paper, including the last papers, which actually explain the evolution of ribosomes. It seems to me that you are very, very close to the complete denial of any scientific facts and laws and obvious observations that has been done. You completely deny everything that can go close to explanation. So I'm sorry, but you simply you're forgetting every time when you have explanation for that. So
yeah, I think you're kind of. I think Demeter's bird disagrees with you too, Tangela. Yeah. CRISPR, did you have anything else?
No, that's it. I'm fine.
Peter? Gonna go for it.
Peter.
Muted,
Peter.
Oh, I was still muted. Okay, so we touched on this 3 times today, and this was a major thing a couple of shows back. I have one thing, and I don't need Otangelo to answer that right now, and that's regarding a model. So if we have the Big Bang model, for that we have data. Some of it is the microwave background. We've got the redshift, we've got the observable fact that the universe is expanding. That is data that we have for that particular model. For the next conversation, Otangelo, would you come up with some data on God speaking things into being? Not just the claim, and not just that we're here, but the data that leads you to conclude that that is how this happened. That I would really be looking forward to.
Well, what
right.
I would answer to, can I answer to that?
Well, no, because he was saying he's just throwing that out there. As
All right.
No, we're wrapping up.
And then if you want to go open your channel up, maybe Peter and CRISPR would like to go and continue, but he was just suggesting a topic for the next time you're here. And we're going to throw it over to Speed, and he's going to wrap her up.
Are we all ready to quit and go in the back room and go undead?
Yeah.
We went 3 hours, and that's and I got things I got to do, so we're going to wrap it up.
One quick thing I'd like.
Go ahead, Rashomon.
Oh, I was just gonna say, CRISPR, if you could stay for a few minutes, I have a real quick question.
problem.
That's okay.
Okay.
Well, before you do that, Peter and I were going to stay and have a little discussion for like 5 minutes. But,
well, you guys figure that out in the back room. We're ending the broadcast. Goodbye, cruel world.
Stay curious.